Our planet is merely a speck in the boundless cosmic expanse, yet it is here, on this fragile blue dot, that life emerged. Life that, over billions of years of evolution, began to ask profound questions about its nature and its place in the grand universe. We, the children of the stars, who have given birth to science and philosophy, seek answers to the very questions posed by the stars themselves. What is the universe? How did it come into being? And what role does humanity play in this vast cosmic drama? Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known. The universe is an immense and enigmatic cosmos that has captivated humanity for millennia with its boundlessness and grandeur. The ancient peoples, gazing up at the starry skies with reverence and wonder, laid the foundation for an endless quest to understand what lies beyond our world. They observed the movement of celestial bodies, sought to comprehend their cycles and patterns, built astronomical observatories, and created myths to explain the origin of the universe and our place within it. Each generation contributed to this ceaseless pursuit, passing down accumulated knowledge and a profound sense of awe at the majesty of the cosmos. Over time, our tools for understanding the universe became more sophisticated. Technological advancements have allowed humanity to peer into the farthest reaches of the cosmos, witness the light from distant galaxies, and observe the birth of star systems. Telescopes, satellites, and space probes have revealed the mysteries hidden within these vast expanses. Yet as we discover more, new questions arise, questions even more complex and profound. What is the universe? How did it come into existence? What role does humanity play in it? Despite all our achievements, these questions remain as relevant today as ever. Modern cosmology not only unveils the mysteries of the universe's origin and evolution but also helps us understand the nature of time, space, and the forces that govern galaxies, stars, and planets. At the core of these studies lie the fundamental laws of physics, laws that explain how the singularity we call the Big Bang gave birth to the universe approximately 13.8 billion years ago. This moment, filled with energy and matter, marked the beginning of everything we know, time, space, and all that fills the cosmos. From chaos emerged structure, stars and galaxies formed, and within them, planets, one of which became our home. Despite our insignificance on the cosmic scale, humanity has always strived to understand its place in this vast expanse. We are but specks in infinity, yet within our minds and hearts burns a desire for knowledge. How did life arise on Earth? Are we alone in the universe? What future awaits humanity? These questions present not only scientific but philosophical challenges, prompting us to contemplate the meaning of existence and humanity's role on the cosmic scale. Each answer we uncover leads to new mysteries. We see stars that extinguished millions of years ago, observe galaxies we will never approach, and realize that our lives are fleeting moments in the infinite chain of cosmic events. In this journey, we not only seek answers but also experience the beauty and grandeur of the universe. We realize our connection to it and find inspiration in its boundlessness. The cosmos is not just a void between stars, it is an ocean of time and matter, where every atom of our bodies was born in the hearts of distant stars. Understanding this connection opens new horizons, driving us to further exploration, new discoveries, and perhaps a re-evaluation of our place in this grand cosmic order. We embark on this journey not to conquer the stars, but to understand them, and in doing so, to understand ourselves. The universe is vast and awe-inspiring, and we, fragile creatures on a pale blue dot, are bound to it in ways far deeper than we can ever fully grasp. The universe we inhabit is a grand, awe-inspiring object of study. Home to billions of galaxies, each containing billions of stars and an incalculable number of planets, comets, and asteroids. Everything we see and everything that exists is governed by the same physical laws that describe the behavior of matter and energy. But how did this vast and complex structure come into being? The question of the universe's origin is one of the most profound mysteries of modern science. According to the prevailing theory, our universe emerged from a state of extremely high density and temperature around 13.8 billion years ago in an event we refer to as the Big Bang. This moment was not merely an explosion in the conventional sense, but the beginning of space and time itself. All matter and energy were concentrated in a singularity, a state so extreme that our familiar laws of physics could not yet apply. In the first moments after the Big Bang, the universe expanded at an incomprehensible rate, a process known as cosmic inflation. This rapid expansion smoothed out any initial irregularities, setting the stage for the formation of galaxies, stars, and planets. As the universe continued to expand and cool, quarks combined to form protons and neutrons, which in turn led to the creation of atomic nuclei. These early particles, primarily hydrogen and helium, became the building blocks of everything that followed. As the universe evolved, gravity took hold, pulling matter together into the first stars and galaxies. It is within these stars that the elements necessary for life were forged in the intense heat of nuclear fusion. The iron in our blood, the calcium in our bones, the carbon in our cells, all of it was formed in the heart of a star. When these stars died, often in magnificent explosions known as supernovae, they scattered these elements across space, seeding the next generation of stars and planets with the ingredients for life. In this cosmic story, our planet Earth is but one chapter. A small, rocky world orbiting an average star, located in the outer reaches of a spiral galaxy we call the Milky Way. Yet, despite our seeming insignificance, Earth is home to something extraordinary: life. Life that, over billions of years, evolved from simple microorganisms into beings capable of pondering the very universe that gave them birth. We are star-stuffed contemplating the stars. In a cosmos that stretches for billions of light-years in all directions, we are the means by which the universe can understand itself. And while we are still in the early stages of this journey of understanding, each discovery brings us one step closer to grasping the grand tapestry of existence. But the more we learn, the more we realize how much remains unknown. The dark matter that fills much of the universe is invisible to our eyes, detectable only through its gravitational effects. The dark energy that drives the accelerated expansion of the cosmos remains one of the greatest mysteries in science. And as we look out into the night sky, we cannot help but wonder, are we alone? The search for extraterrestrial life is one of the most profound endeavors of modern science. The sheer number of planets in the universe, orbiting stars both near and far, suggests that life may be more common than we once believed. And yet, we have not found it, at least, not yet. We search the heavens for signals, listen for the faint whispers of distant civilizations, and send probes to the farthest reaches of our solar system. Each mission, each experiment, is a small step toward answering the ancient question: are we unique, or is life, in its infinite forms, scattered throughout the stars? And while we seek out other forms of life, we must also reckon with the future of our own. Our planet, our home, faces threats both natural and of our own making. As we look to the stars, we are reminded of our responsibility to preserve the fragile world beneath our feet. Earth is the only known haven for life, a pale blue dot suspended in the vast cosmic ocean. What we do with this world, how we care for it and for each other, will define not only our legacy but the future of life itself. In contemplating the universe, we are also compelled to contemplate ourselves. For in the grand scale of cosmic time and space, our lives are brief, our existence ephemeral. And yet, within this short span, we are granted the remarkable ability to learn, to create, to wonder. It is this capacity for reflection and exploration that sets us apart and links us to the universe in a way that is both humbling and inspiring. The cosmos beckons us to explore, not just for the sake of discovery, but to remind us of our interconnectedness with everything that exists. We are a part of this universe, woven into the fabric of space and time. And as we journey ever deeper into the mysteries of existence, we carry with us the understanding that, while the universe may be vast, it is also within us. In the grand cosmic order, we are both tiny and magnificent. Fragile, yet capable of greatness. And it is this duality that defines the human condition, a condition that, at its core, seeks to understand, to explore, and to connect. The universe is not indifferent to our questions, it is, in fact, the very source of our curiosity. Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known, and it is through the collective effort of humanity that we will one day come to know it. As we contemplate the cosmos, we cannot help but wonder about its ultimate fate. The universe, so vast and ancient, has a story that stretches across billions of years, and yet, like all things, it too will face an end. Theories abound regarding how this might happen. Some predict a gradual cooling and fading into darkness, while others suggest a violent tearing apart of the very fabric of space itself. No matter the outcome, the thought of the universe's eventual demise brings with it profound philosophical reflections. In one scenario, known as the Big Freeze, the universe continues its expansion indefinitely. As galaxies drift further and further apart, the stars within them burn through their fuel, eventually flickering out. Over billions of years, the universe would grow colder, darker, and emptier. No new stars would form, and what remains of matter, once so vibrant and dynamic, would decay into a thin, cold mist of particles. This silent, darkened universe, devoid of energy and life, would drift through eternity. Another possibility is the Big Rip. This theory suggests that the mysterious force driving the universe's accelerated expansion, dark energy, could grow stronger over time. If this happens, not only will galaxies be torn apart, but even stars, planets, and eventually atoms themselves could be ripped asunder by the relentless force. In the end, all matter would be torn to shreds, leaving nothing but an empty void. And then, there is the Big Crunch, a cosmic collapse in which the universe, after expanding for billions of years, reverses course. Gravity, the great force that holds galaxies, stars, and planets together, could one day overcome the expansion, pulling everything back toward a singular point. All matter and energy would be compressed into an unimaginable state, not unlike the beginning of the universe itself. Perhaps, from this collapse, a new universe would emerge, a cycle of birth, death, and rebirth that has no end. Whichever future the universe holds, it forces us to confront not just the ultimate fate of the cosmos, but our place within it. For all the energy and matter that make up stars, galaxies, and planets, the one constant in the universe is change. Just as stars are born, live, and die, so too does the universe evolve on a grand scale. We are witnesses to a small chapter in its story, a brief moment of light and life amid the vastness of space. Yet, there is beauty in this transience. Knowing that the universe is in constant flux, that everything changes, brings a certain poignancy to our understanding of existence. The atoms in our bodies were once part of ancient stars. The molecules that form the air we breathe and the water we drink have traveled through countless cycles of life and death. We are part of this cosmic dance, shaped by forces beyond our comprehension, yet capable of reflecting on them with awe. As we look to the future, we also turn our gaze inward. The survival of our species and our planet depends on how we choose to live today. The Earth, our pale blue dot, is the only home we have ever known. It is a fragile oasis in a cosmos filled with unimaginable forces, forces that could extinguish us in an instant if we are not careful. Our ability to explore the stars, to build civilizations, and to seek knowledge is a testament to the resilience of life. Yet, it is also a reminder of our responsibility to care for the world we inhabit. The drive to explore the universe is one of humanity's most noble pursuits. It stems from our desire to understand the unknown, to push the boundaries of knowledge, and to connect with something larger than ourselves. But as we venture into space, we must also remember that the Earth is a rare and precious place. The cosmos is vast and indifferent, but here, on this small world, life has found a foothold. It is up to us to protect it, not just for ourselves, but for the generations yet to come. And what of the possibility that we are not alone in this great expanse? If the universe is filled with billions of galaxies, each containing billions of stars, it seems almost inevitable that somewhere, out there, life has taken hold on another world. Perhaps these beings look up at their sky, wondering about the stars, just as we do. Perhaps they, too, have asked the same questions about their origins, their place in the cosmos, and the fate of their world. The search for extraterrestrial life is, at its core, a search for connection. It is the hope that, in a universe so vast and mysterious, we are not isolated. That somewhere, across the light years, there are others who share our curiosity, our fears, and our dreams. And should we one day find them, or should they find us, it would be a moment of profound significance, forever altering our understanding of what it means to be human. But even if we never make contact with another civilization, the search itself is valuable. It reminds us of the common thread that runs through all of life. It teaches us that we are part of something far greater than ourselves, and that our existence, fleeting though it may be, is deeply connected to the universe from which we arose. As we continue to explore the cosmos, we must do so with humility, with wonder, and with a sense of purpose. The universe has been unfolding for billions of years before us, and it will continue for billions of years after we are gone. But during our brief time in the cosmic spotlight, we have the extraordinary privilege of learning about this vast, beautiful, and mysterious world around us. We are, after all, the universe's way of knowing itself. As we venture deeper into our understanding of the cosmos, we are continually confronted by questions that stretch the limits of our imagination. Among the most tantalizing is the question of life beyond Earth. Are we truly alone in this vast universe? Or is the emergence of life a common outcome when the right ingredients come together? The search for extraterrestrial life has taken many forms, from listening for radio signals across the void to sending robotic probes to distant moons and planets. Each new discovery, from the evidence of water on Mars to the icy oceans beneath the surface of Jupiter's moon Europa, has provided us with tantalizing hints that life, in some form, may exist beyond our world. These discoveries remind us that the conditions for life, water, energy, and organic molecules, are not unique to Earth. They may be more widespread than we once believed. Yet, the silence from the cosmos is deafening. Despite our efforts to listen for signals or detect the presence of life, we have found no conclusive evidence that we share this universe with other intelligent beings. This has led to one of the most profound and unsettling paradoxes in science, often called the Fermi paradox. If the universe is so vast and ancient, and if life is so prevalent, then where is everyone? Why haven't we encountered any signs of other civilizations? There are many possible answers to this paradox, each more thought-provoking than the last. It could be that intelligent life is exceedingly rare, and that the circumstances that allowed life to flourish on Earth are extraordinarily unique. Or perhaps civilizations, once they develop advanced technologies, inevitably destroy themselves before they can reach the stars, a sobering possibility that serves as a warning to us about the fragility of our own existence. Another possibility is that advanced civilizations are out there, but they are deliberately avoiding us. Perhaps they are observing us from afar, waiting for humanity to mature before making contact. Or maybe their methods of communication are so advanced that we simply lack the ability to detect them. It's even possible that life exists in forms so different from what we understand that we wouldn't recognize it even if it were right in front of us. But regardless of the answer, the search for extraterrestrial life forces us to look inward as much as outward. It challenges us to consider what it means to be intelligent, to be conscious, and to be aware of our place in the universe. If we do find other forms of life, it will forever change our understanding of ourselves. If we don't, it will reinforce the preciousness of life here on Earth, a singular beacon of consciousness in the dark expanse of space. Even as we look for signs of life beyond our planet, we must grapple with the future of life on Earth. Our technological advancements have given us incredible power, but with that power comes responsibility. We have become the stewards of our planet, capable of shaping its future, for better or worse. The choices we make today, regarding the environment, technology, and society, will determine whether future generations inherit a thriving world or a planet in peril. The climate crisis, the loss of biodiversity, and the depletion of natural resources remind us that Earth's ecosystems are fragile. Our actions have far-reaching consequences, and we must act with wisdom and foresight if we are to preserve the delicate balance of life. The challenges we face may seem daunting, but they also present an opportunity. Just as the exploration of space has inspired generations to push the boundaries of science and technology, so too can the need to protect our planet inspire innovation and cooperation. In our efforts to explore the stars, we must remember that Earth is our home. It is the only planet we know of that harbors life, and it is a world of extraordinary beauty and complexity. The image of Earth from space, the pale blue dot, reminds us of our shared humanity, our interconnectedness, and the fragility of life in the cosmos. It is a reminder that, while we may one day travel to other worlds, this planet, with all its wonders, is irreplaceable. As we stand on the brink of a new era of space exploration, we must also reflect on the ethical implications of venturing beyond our planet. What will it mean to colonize other worlds? How will we interact with potential life forms we may encounter? And what responsibilities do we have to preserve the natural environments of the planets we explore? The colonization of Mars, long a dream of scientists and explorers, may soon become a reality. But Mars is not Earth. Its harsh environment, thin atmosphere, and lack of liquid water make it a challenging place for life as we know it. If we succeed in creating habitable colonies on Mars, it will be a testament to human ingenuity and perseverance. Yet, we must be mindful of the ethical questions such a venture raises. Should we terraform other planets to make them more Earth-like, or should we leave them in their natural state? What rights do we have to alter worlds that may harbor their own unique ecosystems? And if we do find life, even microbial life, on another planet, how will that discovery change the way we think about life on Earth? The realization that life is not unique to our planet would have profound implications for science, philosophy, and religion. It would challenge us to rethink our place in the universe and our relationship with the natural world. Even if we never find life elsewhere, the very act of exploring the cosmos enriches our understanding of what it means to be human. It reminds us that we are part of a larger story, one that stretches back billions of years and will continue long after we are gone. The stars we see in the night sky are ancient, their light having traveled across vast distances to reach us. Some of those stars may have already died, their light a lingering echo of a past we can only imagine. In this vast and mysterious universe, we are both small and significant. Our lives may be brief, but our ability to reflect, to ask questions, and to seek knowledge gives us a unique place in the cosmic order. We are, in a very real sense, the universe becoming aware of itself. And it is this awareness, this capacity for wonder and inquiry, that defines us as a species. The future of humanity, whether on Earth or among the stars, depends on how we choose to live today. The challenges we face, both on our planet and in our exploration of the cosmos, are immense. But so, too, are the opportunities. If we approach these challenges with curiosity, compassion, and a sense of responsibility, we can shape a future that is not only sustainable but filled with wonder. In the end, the universe will continue its grand dance of creation and destruction, with or without us. But for the brief moment we are here, we have the extraordinary privilege of understanding a small part of it. Let us use this time wisely, to explore, to learn, and to connect, with each other and with the cosmos itself. As we stand on the cusp of this new cosmic age, it's important to reflect on the nature of exploration itself. Throughout history, humanity has been driven by an innate curiosity, a desire to see what lies beyond the horizon. From the first humans who ventured across oceans to the astronauts who set foot on the moon, each journey has expanded not only our physical boundaries but also the boundaries of our understanding. The exploration of space represents the next great leap in this age-old endeavor. With each new mission, we push further into the unknown, expanding the reach of human knowledge. But space is not merely a new frontier to be conquered. It is a mirror that reflects back on us, revealing who we are and what we value. When we gaze at the stars, we are reminded of the vastness of the universe and our small place within it. But we are also reminded of our incredible potential. We are the first species, as far as we know, to develop the capability to leave its home planet and explore worlds beyond. This is no small achievement, it is a profound testament to the power of human ingenuity and cooperation. It reminds us that, when we work together, we can accomplish the seemingly impossible. Yet, as we embark on this journey, we must also recognize the limitations of our knowledge and the humility that comes with it. The universe is far older, far more complex, and far stranger than we can currently comprehend. The laws of physics, the nature of time and space, the very fabric of reality itself, these are mysteries that still elude us. And yet, it is precisely this mystery that drives us forward. Consider the phenomenon of black holes, regions of space where gravity is so strong that not even light can escape. These enigmatic objects, first predicted by Einstein's theory of general relativity, challenge our understanding of the universe. They represent a breakdown of our physical laws, a place where time and space warp in ways that defy our intuition. And yet, through the study of black holes, we gain new insights into the fundamental nature of reality. In recent years, we have even managed to capture the first image of a black hole, a feat that would have seemed impossible just decades ago. This achievement, the result of a global collaboration of scientists and engineers, reminds us that no challenge is too great when we come together in the pursuit of knowledge. It also reminds us that our universe, though vast and mysterious, is not beyond our reach. And what of the even more perplexing mysteries that await us? Dark matter and dark energy, two of the most elusive and least understood components of the universe, make up the vast majority of its mass and energy. Yet we can neither see nor directly detect them. These invisible forces shape the universe in profound ways, influencing the formation of galaxies, the motion of stars, and the expansion of space itself. Our inability to fully comprehend dark matter and dark energy is a humbling reminder of how much we have yet to learn. But it is also an invitation to continue exploring, questioning, and seeking answers. For every mystery we solve, new questions arise. And this, perhaps, is one of the most beautiful aspects of science. It is an endless journey. There will always be more to learn, more to discover, more to understand. The universe is a grand puzzle, and we are only just beginning to put the pieces together. As we unravel the mysteries of the cosmos, we are also reminded of our connection to it. The atoms that make up our bodies were forged in the hearts of stars. The energy that powers our thoughts and movements was once part of the great explosions that gave birth to galaxies. In a very real sense, we are the universe, and the universe is us. This realization brings with it a sense of profound responsibility. We are not separate from the cosmos, we are part of it. And as we continue to explore the stars, we must do so with an awareness of the impact we have on the world around us. Just as we must protect our planet from the ravages of climate change and environmental degradation, so too must we approach space exploration with care and respect. The planets and moons we visit, the asteroids we mine, the environments we alter, these are not merely resources to be exploited. They are part of a delicate and interconnected system that we must strive to understand before we alter it. The future of space exploration is filled with exciting possibilities. The prospect of humans setting foot on Mars, establishing colonies on distant moons, and even venturing beyond our solar system is no longer the stuff of science fiction. It is within our reach. But with these possibilities come new challenges that are not just technical or logistical, but ethical and philosophical as well. How will we govern space? Who will decide how resources are shared? What rights do we have to alter other worlds, and what responsibilities do we have to protect them? These are questions that humanity must grapple with as we move forward into this new era of exploration. In many ways, the challenges we face in space are reflections of the challenges we face here on Earth. Just as we must learn to live sustainably on our own planet, so too must we learn to live sustainably in the cosmos. The lessons we learn from space exploration, about cooperation, stewardship, and the interconnectedness of all life, can and must be applied to our efforts to build a better world here at home. And what of the future of humanity itself? As we continue to explore the cosmos, will we remain the same species that first gazed up at the stars, or will we evolve into something new? The development of artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and other advanced technologies raises profound questions about the nature of life and consciousness. Will we one day merge with machines, extending our lifespans and enhancing our abilities? Will we create new forms of life, capable of surviving in environments that are inhospitable to humans? These possibilities, once the realm of speculative fiction, are becoming more real with each passing year. And as we push the boundaries of what it means to be human, we must also consider the ethical implications of these advancements. What does it mean to be alive? What does it mean to be conscious? And how do we ensure that the technologies we develop are used for the benefit of all humanity, rather than the few? As we contemplate these questions, we are reminded once again of the importance of perspective. The universe, in all its vastness, offers us a unique vantage point from which to reflect on our place within it. The challenges we face, both on Earth and in space, are immense. But so too are the opportunities. We are the inheritors of a rich legacy, passed down to us by countless generations of explorers, thinkers, and dreamers. It is now our turn to carry that legacy forward, to continue the journey that began when our ancestors first looked up at the night sky and wondered. The universe beckons us. Not just to explore its distant corners, but to understand its deepest truths, and in doing so, to understand ourselves. As we press forward in our exploration of the universe, we must also consider one of the most profound questions of all, the nature of consciousness itself. What does it mean to be aware, to think, to feel, to wonder about the universe in which we live? Consciousness is one of the deepest mysteries in science, and understanding its origins and nature could be key to understanding not only ourselves but the very fabric of reality. In a universe that is vast, cold, and indifferent, consciousness appears as a flickering light in the darkness, a phenomenon that seems almost miraculous. How did it arise? How does the matter of the brain give rise to thoughts, emotions, and self-awareness? These questions are as fundamental as those about the origin of the universe itself. Consciousness allows us to ponder the cosmos, to seek meaning, and to reflect on our place in the grand scheme of things. For centuries, philosophers and scientists have grappled with the question of consciousness, but it remains one of the most elusive phenomena we face. Some argue that consciousness is an emergent property of complex systems, a natural outcome of the brain's intricate workings. Others suggest that consciousness is more fundamental, woven into the very structure of the universe itself, a cosmic phenomenon that extends beyond the bounds of biology. And as we consider the possibility of life beyond Earth, we must also ask, what forms might consciousness take in other worlds? Could there be minds far different from our own, shaped by environments and conditions alien to anything we know? What if consciousness itself exists in forms that we cannot yet conceive, bound not to biology as we understand it but to other kinds of matter or energy? These questions remind us that, while we are bound by the limits of our experience, the universe may hold surprises far beyond our current understanding. The search for extraterrestrial life is not merely about finding biological organisms, it is about seeking out new forms of intelligence, new ways of being. The discovery of a single extraterrestrial civilization, no matter how different from us, would fundamentally reshape our understanding of consciousness and life. It would force us to confront the reality that intelligence is not confined to Earth, and that we may share the universe with other thinking beings, perhaps far more advanced than we are. But what if we are alone? What if consciousness, as we know it, is a rare and fleeting phenomenon in the universe? In that case, the responsibility we bear is even greater. We are the stewards of this extraordinary gift, the only beings we know of who can reflect on existence, marvel at the stars, and seek to understand the universe. If we are the only conscious observers, it falls upon us to ensure that this awareness, this flame of thought, continues to burn brightly in the cosmos. This leads to a profound realization: the future of consciousness may depend on the choices we make today. Our ability to explore space, develop new technologies, and solve the challenges we face on Earth will determine whether humanity continues to thrive or fades into obscurity. The preservation of consciousness, whether it is human or some other form we may create, becomes not just a scientific or philosophical challenge, but a moral imperative. Our growing understanding of artificial intelligence raises similar questions. As we develop machines capable of performing tasks that once required human intelligence, we are forced to ask, what happens when these machines surpass our own cognitive abilities? Could we one day create artificial beings that are conscious, capable of independent thought and feeling? And if we do, what rights and responsibilities will we have toward them? The creation of artificial consciousness would be one of the most significant milestones in the history of the universe, a moment when life, for the first time, consciously creates something akin to itself. It would blur the line between the natural and the artificial, between the human and the machine. But it also raises profound ethical questions. If these beings are conscious, how should we treat them? Will they become our partners in the exploration of the cosmos, or will they outgrow us, pursuing their own destinies? These possibilities are both thrilling and unsettling. They force us to reconsider what it means to be alive, to be intelligent, to be aware. The future of consciousness, whether biological or artificial, could take forms that are beyond anything we can currently imagine. And as we look to the stars, we must also look inward, seeking to understand the very nature of thought and existence. But in the end, the universe, in all its vastness and mystery, is more than just a stage for consciousness. It is a living, evolving entity in which we are deeply intertwined. The atoms that form our bodies were forged in the furnaces of distant stars. The energy that powers our thoughts was once part of the cosmic explosions that gave birth to galaxies. And as we journey through life, we are part of the same cosmic dance that has been unfolding for billions of years. This realization brings with it a sense of awe and wonder, but also a deep humility. For as much as we have learned, there is so much more that we do not know. The universe is filled with mysteries, black holes, dark matter, dark energy, the nature of time and space, that continue to challenge our understanding. Each new discovery opens up more questions, more puzzles to be solved. But this is the beauty of science, it is an unending quest, a journey that never truly reaches a final destination. And perhaps this is as it should be. For if we were ever to fully understand the universe, to grasp its every nuance and secret, we would lose something precious, the sense of wonder that drives us to explore, to ask questions, to push the boundaries of knowledge. The mystery is what makes the universe so beautiful, so captivating. It is the unknown that calls to us, urging us to look beyond the horizon and discover what lies beyond. As we move into the future, our greatest task will not be to conquer the universe, but to understand our place within it. We must learn to live in harmony with the cosmos, respecting the delicate balance of forces that have shaped the stars, the planets, and life itself. We must approach the universe not as masters, but as students, humble, curious, and aware of the vastness of what we do not yet know. The universe has been unfolding for billions of years, and it will continue to do so for billions more. Our time here is brief, but it is also extraordinary. We are the universe's way of knowing itself, the only conscious beings, that we know of, capable of reflecting on the cosmic story that we are a part of. This is both a privilege and a responsibility. We must use our time wisely, to learn, to explore, to preserve what is precious, and to carry the flame of consciousness forward into the future. Whether we are alone or one of many civilizations scattered across the stars, our journey is far from over. The universe, in all its grandeur, awaits us. Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known. And we, the fragile and brilliant creatures of Earth, are the ones who will find it. As we contemplate the future of human consciousness and our role in the vast universe, we must also consider the fate of our civilization. Like the stars above, civilizations are born, they grow, and eventually, they face challenges that threaten their survival. The history of humanity is filled with moments of great triumph, where our collective intelligence and creativity have propelled us forward. But it is also marked by periods of darkness, where we have come perilously close to losing everything. What will the future hold for us? Will we, as a species, rise to meet the challenges of our time, or will we falter, consumed by the very forces we have unleashed? The answer to this question lies not in the stars, but within ourselves. For the first time in history, humanity possesses the tools to shape its own destiny. We have the power to explore other worlds, to develop technologies that can solve our most pressing problems, and to connect with each other in ways that were once unimaginable. But with this power comes an immense responsibility. The challenges we face, climate change, inequality, resource depletion, are of our own making. They are the result of our actions, our choices, and our ways of life. And while these problems may seem overwhelming, they also present us with an opportunity. If we can learn to live in harmony with the earth, if we can harness the power of technology for the greater good, then we may yet create a future where humanity not only survives but thrives. One of the most pressing questions we must confront is whether we will learn to work together as a global community. The exploration of space, the protection of our planet, and the advancement of science all require cooperation on a scale that transcends national borders. The challenges of the future cannot be solved by any one nation, one group, or one individual. They demand collective action, a shared vision of what the future can be. We must begin to see ourselves not as citizens of individual countries, but as citizens of Earth. When the Apollo astronauts first looked back at our planet from the moon, they saw no borders, no divisions, only a small, fragile world suspended in the vastness of space. This overview effect, as it has come to be known, is a powerful reminder of our interconnectedness and our shared responsibility to care for the planet we all call home. As we prepare for the next great leap in human exploration, the colonization of other worlds, we must carry this sense of unity and responsibility with us. Mars, the Moon, and other celestial bodies may one day become home to human settlers, but the lessons we learn here on Earth will be critical to ensuring that we do not repeat the mistakes of the past. What will it mean to live on another world? How will our cultures, values, and identities evolve as we venture farther from our home planet? These are questions that we must begin to ask now, before we set foot on these new frontiers. The colonization of space will not just be a technical challenge, it will be a social, ethical, and philosophical one as well. Consider the ethics of terraforming, a process by which we could alter the environment of a planet like Mars to make it more habitable for humans. This ambitious endeavor, which may one day allow us to transform entire worlds, raises profound questions about our role as stewards of the universe. Do we have the right to reshape other planets to suit our needs? What if these worlds harbor life, even in its most primitive forms? Should we prioritize our survival over the preservation of these alien ecosystems? These are not just hypothetical questions. They are real dilemmas that we will face as our ability to explore and alter other worlds increases. And the answers we choose will define the kind of civilization we become, a civilization that respects the cosmos and its myriad wonders, or one that views the universe as a resource to be exploited. But even as we look outward, we must not lose sight of the challenges that remain here on Earth. The exploration of space should not be seen as an escape from the problems we have created on our own planet. Rather, it should inspire us to find solutions. The technologies we develop for life on Mars, sustainable energy, closed-loop ecosystems, efficient use of resources, could be applied here on Earth to create a more sustainable and equitable world. The cosmos offers us not only new horizons but also a new perspective on our place in the grand scheme of things. The search for extraterrestrial life, the study of distant galaxies, and the exploration of our solar system are all part of a larger quest to understand who we are and where we fit in the universe. And while we may not yet have all the answers, the very act of asking these questions brings us closer to understanding the nature of existence itself. We are, after all, a species driven by curiosity. From the moment our ancestors first looked up at the night sky and wondered about the stars, we have sought to understand the world around us. This curiosity has led to some of humanity's greatest achievements, art, science, philosophy, and exploration. And it is this same curiosity that will carry us forward into the future. The journey of exploration is not just a physical one, it is a journey of the mind and spirit. Each new discovery, whether it is the sight of a distant galaxy or the confirmation of life on another planet, challenges us to think more deeply about our place in the universe. It forces us to confront the possibility that we are not the only intelligent beings in existence, that there may be other minds out there, wondering, as we do, about the nature of reality. And yet, even if we never find another civilization, the universe remains a source of wonder and inspiration. The sheer scale of it, the beauty of its galaxies, nebulae, and star systems, is a reminder that we are part of something far greater than ourselves. We are not isolated beings, separate from the cosmos, we are woven into its very fabric. In the end, the exploration of space is not about conquering new worlds or accumulating knowledge for its own sake. It is about understanding our place in the grand cosmic order. It is about recognizing that we are a small but significant part of a much larger story, a story that has been unfolding for billions of years and will continue long after we are gone. The universe has no need for us to explore it. It will continue to expand, to evolve, to create and destroy stars, planets, and galaxies, whether we are here to observe it or not. But for the brief time that we are here, we have the extraordinary privilege of being conscious participants in this cosmic dance. We have the ability to wonder, to ask questions, and to seek answers. And in doing so, we connect with something far greater than ourselves. As we look to the future, let us carry with us the sense of wonder, humility, and responsibility that has always been at the heart of exploration. The universe is vast, mysterious, and beautiful, and there is still so much to learn. But perhaps the greatest discovery we will ever make is the realization that, in exploring the cosmos, we are also exploring ourselves. We are stardust, contemplating the stars. And in that contemplation, we find not only knowledge but meaning. One of the most profound realizations that has emerged from our scientific exploration of the cosmos is the idea of impermanence. Everything in the universe, from the smallest particle to the largest galaxy, is in a constant state of flux. Stars are born, they live brilliant lives, and eventually, they die. Galaxies collide and merge, black holes consume matter, and planets evolve and change over eons. This impermanence is not a sign of chaos, but rather a reflection of the natural order of the universe. Change is woven into the very fabric of reality, and it is through this process of transformation that the cosmos evolves. As we observe the life cycles of stars and the dance of galaxies, we begin to understand that our own existence, too, is part of this grand cosmic rhythm. Our lives, fleeting though they may be in the vast scale of cosmic time, are nonetheless meaningful in their connection to the larger whole. Yet, the impermanence of the universe does not diminish its beauty. On the contrary, it enhances it. The knowledge that stars will one day burn out, that galaxies will drift apart, and that the universe itself may one day fade into darkness gives every moment of existence a kind of poignant significance. The universe is not static, and neither are we. Our existence is a brief moment of light and consciousness in an ever-changing cosmos, and it is this very ephemerality that makes it precious. This realization brings us to another important question: what is our responsibility as conscious beings in this universe? We are not passive observers of the cosmos, but active participants. Our actions, both individually and collectively, shape the future of our world and, potentially, the wider universe. As we develop technologies that allow us to alter the environment, explore space, and even potentially create new forms of life, we must ask ourselves, how will we wield this power? Will we use it to enrich the lives of all living beings, or will we allow it to lead us down a path of destruction? In many ways, the challenges we face today, climate change, environmental degradation, the threat of nuclear weapons, are a test of our ability to act as responsible stewards of our planet and our future. The decisions we make in the coming decades will not only determine the fate of humanity but may also shape the trajectory of life on Earth for millions of years to come. If we fail to meet these challenges, the consequences could be dire. But if we succeed, we may usher in a new era of human flourishing, an era in which we learn to live in harmony with the earth, while also reaching for the stars. One of the most important lessons we can learn from the universe is the interconnectedness of all things. The atoms that make up our bodies were once part of distant stars, and the energy that powers our lives is derived from processes that began billions of years ago. This interconnectedness is not just a poetic notion, it is a scientific fact. We are all part of the same cosmic web, and our actions have ripple effects that extend far beyond ourselves. As we explore the universe, this sense of interconnectedness becomes even more important. The colonization of other planets, the extraction of resources from asteroids, and the creation of artificial intelligence all have the potential to reshape not only our society but also the universe itself. How we approach these endeavors will reflect our understanding of our place in the cosmos. Will we act as responsible stewards, or will we exploit the universe for short-term gain? The ethical questions that arise from space exploration are profound. Consider, for example, the possibility of encountering other intelligent civilizations. If we discover extraterrestrial life, how will we interact with it? What rights do other forms of life have, and how should we balance our desire to explore and expand with the need to respect and protect the diversity of life in the universe? These are not easy questions, and there are no simple answers. But what is clear is that our exploration of space will require us to think deeply about our values and priorities. We cannot afford to act recklessly or selfishly in our pursuit of knowledge and power. The universe is vast, but it is also fragile. The same forces that allow for the creation of galaxies and stars can also lead to their destruction. And the same technologies that can take us to the stars can also bring about our downfall if used irresponsibly. In this context, the idea of the cosmic perspective becomes even more important. As Carl Sagan once said, the cosmic perspective is not only about looking at the universe from a great distance, it is about recognizing the smallness of our individual concerns in the face of the vastness of space and time. It is about understanding that our lives, while meaningful to us, are but brief flashes of light in the grand scheme of things. And yet, it is precisely because of this brevity that our actions matter so much. The cosmic perspective teaches us humility, but it also inspires us. It reminds us that we are part of something far greater than ourselves, and that our lives are connected to the fate of the universe in ways we cannot yet fully understand. It encourages us to act with care and wisdom, to think not only about the immediate future but also about the long-term consequences of our actions. And so, as we stand on the threshold of a new era of space exploration, we must carry with us this sense of responsibility. We must recognize that the decisions we make today will shape the future of life on Earth, and perhaps beyond. We must ask ourselves, what kind of civilization do we want to become? Will we be a species that spreads life and knowledge across the stars, or one that squanders its potential in the pursuit of short-term goals? The choice is ours to make. The universe, with all its mysteries and wonders, awaits us. But it is up to us to decide how we will engage with it. Will we be wise stewards, learning from the lessons of the past and using our knowledge to create a better future? Or will we repeat the mistakes of history, allowing greed and short-sightedness to dictate our actions? The cosmos offers us boundless opportunities for growth, exploration, and discovery. But it also presents us with a mirror, reflecting back the best and worst aspects of our nature. In exploring the stars, we are also exploring ourselves, our hopes, our fears, our strengths, and our weaknesses. As we move forward into the future, let us carry with us the sense of wonder that has always driven us to explore, the humility that comes from understanding our place in the universe, and the wisdom to act as responsible stewards of both Earth and the cosmos. For in the end, the story of humanity is not just the story of a species on a small, fragile planet. It is the story of a universe becoming aware of itself, of consciousness rising from the dust of stars, and of the endless journey toward understanding. Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known. And we, as part of this vast and mysterious universe, are the ones who will find it. As we reflect on our place in the cosmos, it becomes clear that we are at a pivotal moment in human history. The decisions we make today, about our planet, our technology, and our exploration of the stars, will resonate far into the future. For the first time, we possess the power not just to shape the destiny of our species, but perhaps the fate of life itself in the universe. This is a tremendous responsibility, and it forces us to confront not just what we can do, but what we should do. The universe is vast, mysterious, and indifferent to our existence, yet we have the ability to bring meaning to it through our actions and our consciousness. This gives us a unique position, a role to play in the unfolding cosmic drama. It is not simply a question of survival or exploration for its own sake. Rather, it is about how we choose to engage with the cosmos, how we approach the unknown, and how we balance our ambitions with our responsibilities. One of the most profound questions we face as we look outward is the possibility of life elsewhere. For centuries, we have wondered whether we are alone in the universe. The discovery of life beyond Earth, whether microbial or intelligent, would be one of the greatest revelations in human history. It would force us to rethink everything we know about biology, consciousness, and our place in the grand cosmic scheme. But even in the absence of such a discovery, the search itself teaches us valuable lessons about humility and the limits of our knowledge. The vastness of the cosmos suggests that life, in some form, must exist elsewhere. There are billions of galaxies, each containing billions of stars, and around many of those stars, planets that could harbor life. Yet the silence from the stars is profound. This paradox, why, in a universe seemingly teeming with potential, have we not yet found evidence of other civilizations, challenges our assumptions about life and intelligence. It may be that life is rare, that the conditions required for life to arise are so precise, so fragile, that Earth is an extraordinary outlier in a universe otherwise barren. Or it may be that intelligent life is common, but civilizations, like ours, face existential challenges, environmental collapse, nuclear war, technological catastrophes, that prevent them from reaching the stars. This sobering possibility suggests that we are at a critical juncture in our development. If we can overcome the challenges we face, we may be able to reach out to the cosmos. But if we fail, we risk joining the ranks of civilizations that never reached their full potential. Alternatively, the universe may be filled with civilizations that are simply too far away, too different, or too advanced for us to detect. They may communicate in ways we cannot yet comprehend, or they may have chosen to remain silent, watching us from afar, waiting to see if we mature as a species. The possibilities are as vast and varied as the universe itself. And so, the search for extraterrestrial life is not just a scientific endeavor. It is a philosophical one. It forces us to confront our assumptions about what life is, what intelligence is, and what it means to be conscious in a universe that may be filled with other minds, other forms of awareness. Whether we find life or not, the search will change us. It will teach us to approach the unknown with curiosity and humility, to recognize the limits of our knowledge, and to appreciate the fragility and preciousness of life here on Earth. But even as we look outward, we must not forget the life that exists here, on our home planet. Earth is unique in its diversity of life, and we have only begun to understand the complex ecosystems that make our world habitable. The biosphere, that thin layer of life that blankets the planet, is a marvel of interconnected systems, oceans, forests, atmosphere, and soil, working in concert to support life. And yet, despite our scientific advancements, we are also the greatest threat to this fragile balance. Climate change, habitat destruction, pollution, and overexploitation of resources are driving species to extinction at an unprecedented rate. In the blink of an eye, geologically speaking, we have reshaped the planet, often in ways that are harmful to the very systems that sustain us. The consequences of these actions are becoming increasingly clear, from rising sea levels to more frequent and severe storms, to the loss of biodiversity that underpins our agricultural and medical systems. We are now entering what some scientists have called the Anthropocene, the age of humans, a period in which human activity is the dominant force shaping the Earth's ecosystems and climate. This new era presents us with a stark choice: continue on our current path, risking the collapse of the systems that sustain us, or forge a new relationship with the planet, one that is based on sustainability, stewardship, and respect for the natural world. The lessons we learn from the Earth will be crucial as we venture into space. If we are to live sustainably on other planets, Mars, for example, we will need to develop technologies and systems that allow us to use resources wisely and minimize our impact on fragile ecosystems. The same principles of sustainability that can help us thrive in space can also help us restore balance here on Earth. Moreover, the exploration of space can inspire a sense of unity and purpose. When we look at Earth from space, we see no borders, no divisions, only a single, interconnected world. This overview effect has been described by astronauts as a profound shift in consciousness, a realization that we are all part of the same fragile ecosystem, bound together by the thin atmosphere that sustains life. This perspective can help us move beyond the narrow interests of nations and individuals and toward a more global, and even cosmic, understanding of our shared responsibility. In the end, the exploration of space is not about escaping the challenges of Earth, but about understanding them more deeply. It is about recognizing that the principles that govern the cosmos, the laws of physics, the cycles of birth and death, the interconnectedness of all things, also govern our own lives. By learning to live sustainably on Earth, we prepare ourselves for the challenges of living in space. And by exploring the universe, we deepen our understanding of life, consciousness, and the very nature of existence. As we move forward into this new era of exploration, we must do so with a sense of wonder, responsibility, and humility. The universe is a vast, awe-inspiring place, filled with mysteries we have only just begun to unravel. But it is also a fragile place, where the forces of creation and destruction are constantly at work. Our role in this grand cosmic drama is still unfolding, but we have the power to shape that future, for ourselves, for the Earth, and perhaps for life across the cosmos. The journey ahead will be filled with challenges and uncertainties, but it will also be filled with wonder and discovery. The same curiosity that drove our ancestors to look up at the stars and ask, "What lies beyond?" now drives us to explore the farthest reaches of space, to seek out new worlds, and to understand the universe that gave us birth. And as we explore, we will continue to ask the great questions: what is life? What is consciousness? Are we alone? What is our place in the grand scheme of things? These questions are not merely scientific, they are existential. They speak to the very core of what it means to be human, to be aware, to seek meaning in a universe that is at once beautiful, mysterious, and indifferent. In the end, it is not just the answers that matter, but the journey itself, the quest to understand, to explore, and to connect with the cosmos. This is the true legacy of humanity, not just to survive, but to wonder, to seek, and to create meaning in a universe that, without us, would remain silent and unknown. The stars are there, waiting. Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known. And we, with our curiosity, our intelligence, and our capacity for wonder, are the ones who will discover it. As we continue to gaze into the infinite depths of space, we are reminded that exploration is more than just a journey through physical space, it is also a journey through time. Every time we look up at the night sky, we are seeing the past. The light from distant stars has traveled for millions, sometimes billions of years, to reach our eyes. When we observe galaxies on the farthest edges of the observable universe, we are witnessing them as they were shortly after the birth of the cosmos itself. In a sense, the universe is a time machine, offering us a glimpse into the history of everything that has ever existed. This realization humbles us, for we begin to understand that the scale of the universe dwarfs our individual lives, our civilizations, and even our entire species. And yet, despite the immense expanse of time and space, we find ourselves capable of grasping, in some small way, the forces that have shaped the cosmos since its birth. We are not merely spectators in this grand cosmic story, we are active participants. Our understanding of the universe has grown exponentially over the centuries, and with that understanding comes the potential for greater connection, responsibility, and, perhaps, even wisdom. The birth of the universe itself, in what we call the Big Bang, was the beginning of time as we know it. From an almost inconceivably dense and hot state, the universe began to expand and cool, forming the first atoms, stars, and galaxies. And within this process of creation, the seeds of life were sown. The heavy elements that make up planets, oceans, and living organisms were forged in the fiery hearts of stars, which then exploded as supernovae, scattering these elements across the cosmos. We are, quite literally, made of stardust. Every atom in our bodies was formed in the core of a long-dead star. The iron in our blood, the calcium in our bones, the carbon that forms the foundation of all life, all of it was created in the nuclear furnaces of stars that lived and died billions of years ago. In this way, we are intimately connected to the universe. Our bodies, our consciousness, our very existence is part of a cycle that has been unfolding since the dawn of time. And yet, even as we contemplate the grandeur of the cosmos and our place within it, we must also acknowledge the fragility of life. The conditions that allowed life to flourish on Earth are rare and precious. A delicate balance of temperature, atmosphere, water, and chemical reactions has created a world teeming with biodiversity and complexity. But that balance is easily disrupted. Climate change, deforestation, pollution, and the loss of biodiversity threaten the very systems that sustain life on our planet. As we explore the possibility of life elsewhere in the universe, we must also confront the reality that life on Earth is in danger. This brings us to an important point: the exploration of space and the preservation of Earth are not mutually exclusive endeavors. In fact, they are deeply intertwined. The knowledge and technologies we develop in our quest to explore the stars can help us address the challenges we face here on Earth. Space exploration has already led to advances in renewable energy, environmental monitoring, and resource management. By studying other planets, we gain a deeper understanding of our own. Mars, with its barren surface and thin atmosphere, offers a stark reminder of what can happen when a planet loses its ability to sustain life. Venus, with its runaway greenhouse effect, serves as a warning of the dangers of unchecked climate change. But beyond the practical benefits, space exploration offers something even more profound: perspective. The famous photograph of Earth taken from the Apollo missions, the pale blue dot image captured by Voyager 1, these images remind us of the fragility and unity of our world. From space, there are no borders, no divisions, no conflicts. There is only a small, fragile planet, suspended in the vastness of space, home to every living thing we have ever known. This cosmic perspective forces us to reconsider our place in the universe. It reminds us that the divisions we create, national, political, ideological, are insignificant in the grand scheme of things. We are all passengers on the same fragile spaceship, and our survival depends on our ability to work together, to care for each other, and to care for the planet that sustains us. As we move forward into the future, we must carry this perspective with us. The challenges we face, climate change, inequality, resource depletion, require global solutions. They require a sense of unity, a recognition that we are all in this together. The exploration of space, with its ability to inspire and uplift, can help foster this sense of global cooperation. When we work together to explore the universe, we transcend the boundaries that divide us, and we connect with something larger than ourselves. And yet, even as we look outward to the stars, we must also look inward. The exploration of space forces us to confront some of the deepest questions about our existence. What does it mean to be conscious? What is the nature of life? Are we alone in the universe? These questions are not just scientific, they are philosophical, ethical, and even spiritual. They force us to reflect on the nature of reality and our place within it. Consider the question of life beyond Earth. If we discover even the simplest form of life on another planet, it would forever change our understanding of biology and our place in the cosmos. It would prove that life is not unique to Earth, that the universe is capable of creating life in a multitude of environments. But what if we find intelligent life? What if we discover a civilization that has existed for millions of years, far longer than our own? What if we encounter beings whose intelligence and technology far surpass our own? The implications of such a discovery would be profound. It would force us to reconsider what it means to be intelligent, what it means to be conscious, and what our role is in the universe. It would challenge our understanding of history, culture, and even morality. And it would force us to confront the possibility that we are not the most advanced beings in the universe, that there are others who have been exploring the cosmos for far longer than we have. But even if we do not find other intelligent civilizations, the search itself is valuable. It reminds us of the vastness of the universe, the mystery of existence, and the importance of our own quest for knowledge. The search for extraterrestrial life is, in many ways, a reflection of our own search for meaning. As we look outward into the cosmos, we are also looking inward, seeking to understand who we are and what our purpose is. In the end, the journey of exploration is not just about finding answers, it is about asking questions. It is about embracing the unknown, about recognizing that there will always be mysteries beyond our understanding, and about finding joy in the search itself. The universe is a vast, complex, and beautiful place, filled with wonders we have only just begun to discover. And while we may never fully understand it, the act of seeking, of exploring, and of wondering is what makes us human. As we continue to explore the cosmos, let us do so with a sense of awe and humility. Let us remember that we are part of something far greater than ourselves, that our lives are intertwined with the fate of the universe itself. Let us act as responsible stewards of the earth and the cosmos, recognizing that the choices we make today will shape the future of life in ways we cannot yet imagine. The stars will be there, waiting. And as long as we continue to seek, to explore, and to wonder, we will remain connected to the grand cosmic story of which we are a part. As we push deeper into the unknown, we must also acknowledge that space exploration brings with it new frontiers not only of science but of ethics and philosophy. The potential for human expansion beyond Earth opens up a host of questions that humanity has never before needed to answer. If we succeed in establishing colonies on Mars or other planets, how will we govern these new worlds? What laws and principles will guide our actions in the void of space? What rights and responsibilities will we have as we extend human presence beyond Earth? The concept of colonizing another planet is no longer a distant dream but an emerging reality. Advances in technology, particularly in propulsion and life support systems, bring the prospect of Mars colonies closer with each passing year. But as we prepare for this monumental step, we must remember the lessons of Earth's history. Colonization has often been accompanied by exploitation, environmental destruction, and the displacement of indigenous peoples. We cannot allow the same mistakes to define our presence in space. Mars, with its barren landscapes and harsh environment, presents a unique challenge. If humans are to survive there, we will need to create sustainable habitats, develop closed-loop life support systems, and find ways to produce food, water, and energy in a world that is hostile to life. The technologies required to do this could revolutionize our understanding of sustainability in resource management, not just on Mars, but here on Earth as well. In many ways, the challenges of living on another planet mirror the challenges we face on Earth, the need to live in balance with our environment, to use resources wisely, and to ensure that our actions are sustainable in the long term. But beyond the technical challenges, there are deeper questions about our ethical relationship with Mars and other celestial bodies. Mars may seem desolate to us, but it is a world in its own right, shaped by billions of years of geological history. What if we discover microbial life beneath its surface? What if that life is vulnerable to the presence of humans and the ecosystems we bring with us? Would we have the right to alter Mars's environment, to terraform it, even if doing so could harm native life forms? The ethical implications of such actions are profound. On Earth, we are still grappling with the consequences of our impact on ecosystems and the loss of biodiversity. In space, where the stakes are even higher, we must proceed with caution. The discovery of life, even in its simplest form, would be a revelation that forces us to reconsider our place in the cosmos. We would no longer be the sole sentient beings in the universe, we would share it with others, no matter how primitive. The existence of life beyond Earth would place a moral obligation on us to protect and preserve it, to respect the unique environments in which it evolved. But what if, instead of finding life on Mars, we find only barren landscapes and empty worlds? In that case, do we have the right to reshape those worlds to suit our needs? Should we terraform Mars, transforming it into a second Earth, complete with breathable air, flowing water, and ecosystems brought from our home planet? Such a transformation would be an extraordinary achievement, a testament to human ingenuity and our ability to adapt to new environments. But it also raises questions about our relationship with the universe. Is it our role to reshape planets, to impose our vision of life and habitability on worlds that have existed for billions of years without us? Or should we leave them as they are, preserving them in their natural state, even if that means leaving them uninhabited? These are not easy questions to answer, but they will become increasingly urgent as we move forward with our plans for space exploration and colonization. As we look to Mars, the Moon, and beyond, we must also look inward, examining our motivations, our ethics, and our responsibilities as a spacefaring species. The universe is vast, and there may be countless worlds waiting for us to explore, but we must do so with care, with respect for the environments we encounter, and with an awareness of the long-term consequences of our actions. And yet, despite these challenges, space exploration remains one of the most inspiring and hopeful endeavors humanity has ever undertaken. It represents our desire to understand the unknown, to push the boundaries of what is possible, and to seek out new knowledge. It is a testament to the human spirit, to our ability to dream, to imagine, and to create. The journey to the stars is not just a scientific or technological challenge, it is a deeply human one, driven by our innate curiosity and our desire to explore the universe around us. This journey also offers us a chance to reflect on the nature of life and consciousness itself. As we explore new worlds, we are forced to ask, what is life? What makes something alive? Is it simply the presence of biological processes, or is there something more, an inner spark of awareness, of experience, that defines what it means to be alive? If we discover life on other planets, will we recognize it as such? Or will it be so different from what we know that we struggle to understand it? These questions touch on the deepest mysteries of existence. Life, as we know it, is a complex and wondrous phenomenon, capable of evolving into countless forms, from simple bacteria to sentient beings capable of contemplating the cosmos. But is consciousness a necessary part of life, or is it a rare and fleeting phenomenon, unique to a few species on a few planets? If we find life elsewhere, will it be conscious in the way that we are? Will it wonder about the universe, ask questions, and seek meaning, as we do? And if we never find life beyond Earth, what does that say about us? Are we, then, the only conscious beings in the universe, the sole observers of its beauty and mystery? If that is the case, then our responsibility is even greater. We are the universe's way of knowing itself, the only beings capable of reflecting on its vastness, its complexity, and its elegance. We must not take that role lightly. If we are the only life, or the only conscious life, then the survival of our species, and of life itself, becomes an even greater imperative. It is not just about preserving our own existence, but about ensuring that the universe continues to be observed, contemplated, and understood. In this light, the exploration of space is not merely a scientific endeavor, it is a moral one. It is about ensuring that life, in some form, continues to thrive, even as the universe changes and evolves. It is about carrying forward the flame of consciousness, the spark of awareness, into the future, and perhaps into other worlds. It is about recognizing the unique role we play in the cosmos and acting with the wisdom, humility, and responsibility that this role demands. As we look to the stars, let us do so with wonder, but also with care. Let us remember that we are part of something far greater than ourselves, that our actions have consequences that extend far beyond our individual lives, our generation, or even our planet. The universe is vast, mysterious, and awe-inspiring, and it is our privilege to explore it. But it is also our responsibility to protect it, to nurture the life it has given rise to, and to ensure that future generations, both on Earth and beyond, can continue to experience the beauty and wonder of existence. For in the end, the universe does not need us to observe it. It will continue its grand dance of creation and destruction, its cycles of birth and death, whether we are here or not. But as long as we are here, as long as we are conscious and aware, we have the extraordinary opportunity to be a part of that dance, to witness it, to understand it, and to find meaning within it. The stars will always be there, waiting. And as we reach out to them, let us do so with open minds, open hearts, and a deep respect for the cosmos and its mysteries. Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known. And we, with our boundless curiosity and our capacity for wonder, are the ones who will discover it. As we venture deeper into the cosmos, we must also reflect on the idea of time. The universe is ancient, far older than human history, older than life itself. It has been evolving for billions of years, and it will continue to evolve for billions more. Stars are born, they live out their brilliant lives, and then they die, leaving behind clouds of gas and dust that will one day form new stars. Galaxies drift through space, merging and colliding in slow-motion dances that take eons to unfold. The scale of cosmic time is almost impossible for the human mind to grasp, and yet, we are inextricably part of that timeline. Our existence, brief as it may be in the cosmic sense, is nonetheless meaningful. We are the product of billions of years of cosmic evolution, the result of processes that began long before Earth even existed. The atoms in our bodies were forged in the hearts of stars, the energy that powers our thoughts and movements has its origins in the birth of the universe itself. We are, in a very real sense, the universe made conscious, the eyes and ears through which the cosmos can know itself. But what does it mean to be part of this grand cosmic story? How do we reconcile our brief lives with the immense scale of time and space? These are questions that have puzzled philosophers and scientists alike for centuries, and they take on new meaning as we begin to explore the universe beyond our planet. In the face of such vastness, it is easy to feel insignificant, to wonder whether anything we do matters at all. But the truth is that our actions do matter, both to us and to the universe. Even though our time is brief, we are part of a continuous thread of life, a thread that stretches back billions of years and will continue into the future, as long as life endures. The choices we make today will shape that future, determining whether humanity flourishes or fades away, whether life continues to thrive or is extinguished. And in that sense, we have an extraordinary responsibility, not just to ourselves, but to all life, to the planet we call home, and to the universe itself. Our exploration of space, then, is not just a quest for knowledge. It is a quest for survival, for meaning, and for purpose. It is a search for understanding not only of the universe, but of ourselves and our place within it. The more we learn about the cosmos, the more we realize how interconnected everything is. The same laws of physics that govern the motion of galaxies also govern the behavior of atoms. The forces that shape the universe are the same forces that shape our lives. This interconnectedness reminds us that we are not separate from the universe. We are part of it, and our fate is bound up with its fate. As we explore the stars, we must do so with an awareness of our connection to everything around us, with a recognition that the universe is not just a collection of distant objects to be studied, but a living, dynamic system of which we are an integral part. And as we venture farther from Earth, we must also consider the long-term future of humanity. What will our role be in the centuries and millennia to come? Will we remain confined to Earth, or will we spread out into the stars, establishing colonies on other planets and moons? Will we one day become a multiplanetary species, with human civilizations scattered across the solar system and beyond? The prospect of human life on other planets is no longer the stuff of science fiction. With each new discovery, we move closer to making it a reality. But as we prepare for this next phase of human evolution, we must do so with caution and foresight. Colonizing other planets will not be easy. It will require new technologies, new ways of thinking, and new forms of cooperation. We will need to learn how to live sustainably in environments that are hostile to life, how to build communities that can thrive in isolation, and how to govern ourselves in ways that promote peace and justice. In many ways, the challenges of colonizing space reflect the challenges we face here on Earth. Just as we will need to develop sustainable systems for living on Mars, so too must we develop sustainable systems for living on Earth. The same principles of resource management, environmental stewardship, and cooperation that will be necessary for life on other planets are also necessary for life on this one. If we are to survive and thrive, both on Earth and beyond, we must learn to live in harmony with our environment, to use resources wisely, and to treat each other with respect and compassion. And as we consider the future of humanity in space, we must also consider the future of consciousness. What will it mean to be human in the centuries to come? As technology advances, as we develop artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and other forms of enhancement, we may find that the boundaries of what it means to be human begin to blur. Will we one day merge with machines, creating new forms of intelligence that surpass our own? Will we create new life forms, designed to survive in the harsh environments of space? And if we do, what responsibilities will we have to these new forms of life? What rights will they have, and how will we ensure that they are treated with dignity and respect? These are profound questions, and they require us to think deeply about the nature of life, consciousness, and ethics. The future of humanity is not just about survival, it is about flourishing. It is about creating a future in which all forms of life, both human and non-human, can thrive in harmony with the universe. It is about recognizing that life, in all its forms, is precious and deserving of care and protection. And so, as we look to the stars, let us do so with a sense of wonder, but also with a sense of responsibility. The universe is vast, and it may be filled with wonders we cannot yet imagine. But it is also fragile, and the choices we make today will determine whether those wonders will be experienced by future generations. We are stewards of life, of consciousness, and of the future. Let us act with care, with wisdom, and with compassion. The exploration of space is a journey, not just through the physical universe, but through the landscape of the mind and spirit. It is a journey that challenges us to think beyond ourselves, to consider the long-term consequences of our actions, and to strive for a future that is just, sustainable, and full of possibility. It is a journey that connects us to the past, to the present, and to the future, reminding us that we are part of an ongoing story that stretches across time and space. As we stand at the threshold of this new era of exploration, let us carry with us the knowledge that we are the universe's way of knowing itself. Our curiosity, our desire to explore, our capacity for wonder, all of these are expressions of the universe's own drive toward complexity and understanding. We are, in a sense, the consciousness of the cosmos, the means by which the universe reflects on its own existence. And as long as we continue to ask questions, to seek answers, and to explore the unknown, we will remain connected to the grand story of the universe, a story that is still unfolding, full of mystery, beauty, and infinite potential. The stars will always be there, waiting. And we, the stardust come to life, will always be drawn to them, not just to understand the universe, but to understand ourselves. As we ponder the future of humanity in the cosmos, we are confronted with both exhilarating possibilities and sobering responsibilities. The notion of becoming a multiplanetary species, of spreading life beyond Earth, speaks to our innate curiosity and drive to explore. But it also reminds us that with great power comes great responsibility. If we are to succeed in carrying life into the cosmos, we must do so with wisdom, foresight, and a deep respect for the environments we encounter. The journey to other planets is not just a scientific or technological challenge, it is also an ethical one. How will we interact with the worlds we explore? How will we balance our desire to expand and thrive with our responsibility to protect and preserve the natural beauty and integrity of those worlds? These questions are as important as any engineering or logistical problem we might face, for they speak to the kind of civilization we want to become. The possibility of terraforming, a process by which we could alter the environment of a planet like Mars to make it more Earth-like, raises profound ethical dilemmas. While it may seem like an ideal solution for creating a habitable environment for humans, it also raises the question of whether we have the right to alter another planet so drastically. If Mars is lifeless, do we have the moral authority to change it? And if we were to find microbial life there, would our desire to colonize and terraform the planet override the need to protect its native ecosystem? In the history of Earth, we have often failed to consider the long-term consequences of our actions, leading to environmental degradation, the extinction of species, and the disruption of ecosystems. As we venture into space, we must learn from these mistakes and develop a new ethic of exploration, one that prioritizes the protection of life, even in its simplest forms, and that seeks to understand and preserve the natural environments of other worlds, rather than simply exploiting them for our own purposes. The discovery of life on another planet, whether it is microbial or something far more complex, would be one of the most significant events in human history. It would force us to confront the reality that we are not alone in the universe, that life has arisen elsewhere, perhaps in forms we cannot yet imagine. Such a discovery would not only transform our understanding of biology and the nature of life itself but also challenge our philosophical and ethical frameworks. If we were to find intelligent life, the implications would be even more profound. How would we communicate with beings whose experiences, cultures, and ways of thinking are completely different from our own? What responsibilities would we have toward them? Would we view them as partners in exploration, as equals, or as something to be feared? These questions, which have long been the subject of science fiction, may one day become urgent realities as we continue our search for life beyond Earth. But even if we never find life elsewhere, the mere act of searching teaches us valuable lessons about humility and the vastness of the universe. The cosmos, with all its stars, galaxies, and planets, reminds us of how small we are in the grand scheme of things, but it also reminds us of our extraordinary capacity for wonder and discovery. The search for extraterrestrial life is, in many ways, a reflection of our own quest for meaning. As we look outward, we are also looking inward, seeking to understand who we are and what our place is in the universe. In this sense, the exploration of space is not just about science, it is about philosophy, ethics, and the human spirit. It is about asking the deepest questions of existence: what is life? What is consciousness? What is our role in the universe? These are questions that transcend any one culture or nation. They are universal questions, shared by all of humanity, and they unite us in our search for answers. And yet, while the search for life beyond Earth captivates our imagination, we must not forget that life on Earth is in peril. Climate change, habitat destruction, and the loss of biodiversity are threatening the delicate balance of ecosystems that have evolved over billions of years. The survival of countless species, including our own, depends on how we respond to these challenges. As we look to the stars, we must also look to our own planet, recognizing that Earth is our only home, for now, and that we have a responsibility to protect it. The knowledge and technologies we develop for space exploration can help us address these challenges. Advances in renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, and environmental monitoring, driven by our desire to explore other planets, can be applied to solving the problems we face here on Earth. The quest to live sustainably on Mars or the Moon can teach us valuable lessons about how to live sustainably on Earth. In this way, the exploration of space and the protection of our planet are deeply interconnected. Moreover, space exploration has the power to inspire us, to bring people together in pursuit of a common goal. The sight of astronauts working together on the International Space Station, representing different nations and cultures, reminds us that cooperation and collaboration are possible, even in the most challenging environments. The Apollo missions, which united the world in awe as humans set foot on the Moon, showed us that we are capable of achieving extraordinary things when we work together. As we look to the future, we must harness this spirit of collaboration and use it to address the global challenges we face. The exploration of space offers us a unique perspective, one that transcends the divisions that often separate us. When we look at Earth from space, we see a single, fragile planet, home to all of humanity. There are no borders, no nations, no ideologies, only a world that we must care for, together. This overview effect, experienced by astronauts who have seen Earth from space, has the potential to transform how we think about our planet and our place in the universe. It reminds us that we are all part of a single, interconnected system, and that our actions, whether on Earth or in space, have consequences for the entire planet. It is a perspective that calls for global cooperation, for a shared sense of responsibility, and for a commitment to building a future that is sustainable, just, and full of possibility. The stars will always be there, waiting for us. But as we reach for them, we must remember that our journey begins here, on Earth. The exploration of space is not an escape from the problems of our planet, it is an opportunity to reflect on them, to find new solutions, and to create a future that is worthy of the wonders of the universe. For in the end, the universe is not just a collection of stars, planets, and galaxies, it is a vast, interconnected web of existence, of which we are a part. Our exploration of that web is a reflection of our own drive to understand, to seek meaning, and to find our place in the cosmos. And as long as we continue to ask questions, to explore the unknown, and to act with care and wisdom, we will remain connected to the grand story of the universe. Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known. And we, as explorers of both the outer cosmos and the inner cosmos of our minds and hearts, are the ones who will find it. At its core, exploration is about seeking answers to questions that have long eluded us. But for every answer we uncover, the universe offers us 1,000 more questions. What lies beyond the observable universe? What existed before the Big Bang? Are there other dimensions, parallel realities, or forms of life so alien that we can scarcely comprehend their existence? The scientific method has given us a powerful tool for answering these questions, allowing us to peel back the layers of reality one by one. But it has also revealed the limits of our understanding. The more we learn, the more we realize just how much we still don't know. Dark matter and dark energy, which together make up most of the universe, remain profound mysteries. We can measure their effects, but we still don't know what they are. The same is true of the fundamental nature of time, space, and even consciousness itself. This sense of mystery does not diminish our achievements, rather, it enhances them. It reminds us that the universe is far more complex, strange, and beautiful than we could ever have imagined. And it invites us to keep pushing the boundaries of our knowledge, to remain humble in the face of the unknown, and to approach each new discovery with a sense of awe. The mysteries of the cosmos also lead us to reflect on the nature of human existence. What is it about our species that drives us to explore, to ask questions, to seek meaning in a universe that, as far as we know, is indifferent to our presence? This capacity for wonder, for curiosity, seems to be woven into the fabric of what it means to be human. It is what has driven us to explore the earth, the oceans, the skies, and now the stars. It is what has led to the creation of art, music, literature, and science, the products of minds seeking to understand the world around them and express their place within it. But this drive for exploration is also a reflection of something deeper, our desire to find connection, to belong to something larger than ourselves. As we look out into the cosmos, we are reminded that we are part of a grand, unfolding story, a story that began long before we were born and will continue long after we are gone. Our individual lives may be brief, but they are part of this larger narrative, a narrative that stretches across time and space, linking us to the stars, to other forms of life, and to the universe itself. The search for extraterrestrial life, for example, is not just about finding other beings who share our universe. It is also about finding a sense of kinship, of connection. If we were to discover that life exists elsewhere, whether it is microbial life on Mars, complex organisms on a distant exoplanet, or an intelligent civilization communicating across the void, it would forever change our understanding of what it means to be alive. It would remind us that life, in all its diversity, is a fundamental part of the cosmos, and that we are not alone in our quest to understand it. Even if we never find life beyond Earth, the search itself is valuable. It forces us to ask profound questions about the nature of life and consciousness, about what it means to be alive in a universe that is both filled with possibility and indifferent to our individual fates. It reminds us of the fragility of life on Earth and the responsibility we have to protect it. The act of searching, of exploring, is a deeply human endeavor. It reflects our desire to push beyond the boundaries of the known, to challenge our assumptions, and to expand our understanding of the universe and our place within it. And it is this drive, this relentless curiosity, that has propelled humanity forward, from the first moments when our ancestors looked up at the night sky and wondered about the stars, to the present day, as we send spacecraft to the outer reaches of the solar system and search for signs of life on distant worlds. But as we continue to explore, we must also be mindful of the impact we have on the universe and on each other. The history of exploration on Earth has often been marked by exploitation, colonization, and the destruction of natural environments. As we move into space, we have the opportunity to write a new chapter in the story of exploration, one that is guided by principles of respect, stewardship, and cooperation. The universe is a vast and interconnected system, and our actions, both on Earth and beyond, have consequences that ripple across space and time. As we explore other planets, moons, and celestial bodies, we must do so with care, recognizing that these worlds, like our own, are part of the grand cosmic web of existence. We must act not as conquerors, but as stewards, protecting the environments we encounter, respecting the life we may find, and ensuring that our presence in the cosmos is one of preservation and understanding, rather than exploitation. The ethical questions we face in space exploration are not just about the treatment of other planets, they are also about how we treat each other. The pursuit of knowledge should not come at the expense of human dignity, justice, or equality. The benefits of space exploration, scientific advancements, technological innovations, and the expansion of human potential, should be shared by all of humanity, not just a privileged few. We must ensure that the opportunities created by our exploration of space are used to improve life on Earth, to reduce inequality, and to build a more just and sustainable world. This vision of exploration, one that is guided by ethics, responsibility, and a sense of wonder, offers us a way forward. It reminds us that the journey into space is not just about science or technology, it is about humanity's quest to understand itself, to find meaning in the cosmos, and to create a future that is worthy of the wonders of the universe. And as we stand at the threshold of this new era of exploration, we must also recognize that the future is not predetermined. The choices we make today, about how we explore, how we use our resources, how we treat each other, will shape the future of humanity for generations to come. We have the power to create a future in which humanity thrives, in which life flourishes, and in which the universe continues to be a source of awe and inspiration. But that future depends on our actions now. It depends on our willingness to think beyond our immediate needs, to consider the long-term consequences of our choices, and to act with wisdom and compassion. The universe is vast and full of mystery, and we are but a small part of it. But within that smallness lies great potential, the potential to understand, to create, and to connect with the cosmos in ways that we can only begin to imagine. As we continue to explore, let us do so with a sense of humility, recognizing that we are part of something far greater than ourselves. Let us carry forward the flame of curiosity and wonder, and let us use that flame to light the way toward a future that is full of possibility, beauty, and meaning. The stars will always be there, waiting for us. And as long as we continue to seek, to explore, and to ask questions, we will remain connected to the grand cosmic story of which we are a part. Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known, and it is up to us, curious, fragile, and brilliant as we are, to discover it. In the vastness of the universe, we find both answers and questions. For every mystery solved, a new one emerges, beckoning us to dig deeper, to look farther. This unending quest for knowledge is what makes us human, and it is what gives our existence its unique character. We are beings of curiosity, always striving to understand the world around us, to find our place in the cosmic order. But as we stand at the frontier of this new era of exploration, we are also faced with profound philosophical and ethical questions. What is the ultimate goal of our exploration? Are we seeking merely to expand our technological and scientific prowess, or are we also searching for something more, something that speaks to the deeper questions of existence, of life, and of consciousness? The exploration of space, with all its challenges and triumphs, invites us to reflect on the nature of life itself. What does it mean to be alive in a universe that is, for the most part, indifferent to our existence? What is the significance of life, of consciousness, in a cosmos that stretches out across billions of light-years, filled with stars, galaxies, and planets, but mostly empty, cold, and silent? These questions force us to confront our own mortality, our own place in the grand scheme of things. And yet, in this confrontation, we find a sense of meaning, a sense of purpose. For while the universe may be vast and indifferent, we are not. We are beings capable of thought, of reflection, of understanding. We are the universe made conscious, capable of contemplating its own existence. This realization, that we are part of the universe, that we are its way of knowing itself, imbues our exploration with a sense of profound responsibility. It reminds us that our actions matter, that the choices we make in how we explore the cosmos, how we interact with the environments we encounter, and how we treat each other will shape not only our future but the future of life itself. In this context, the search for extraterrestrial life takes on new significance. It is not just a scientific endeavor, it is a philosophical one. If we find life elsewhere in the universe, whether it is microbial life on Mars, complex ecosystems on an exoplanet, or even intelligent civilizations, how will that discovery change our understanding of ourselves? What will it mean for our sense of identity, for our sense of purpose? If we are not alone in the universe, if life has arisen independently in other parts of the cosmos, then we are part of a much larger story, one that stretches across the galaxy, perhaps even across the universe. This realization would be both humbling and exhilarating. It would remind us that life, in all its forms, is a fundamental part of the cosmos, and that we share a common heritage with beings we have never met, in places we have never seen. But even if we do not find life beyond Earth, the search itself teaches us valuable lessons. It reminds us of the preciousness of life here on our own planet, of the need to protect and preserve the delicate ecosystems that have evolved over billions of years. It reminds us that, for now at least, Earth is the only place we know of where life exists, and that we have a responsibility to ensure that life continues to thrive. The search for life beyond Earth also forces us to consider the nature of life itself. What is life? Is it merely a collection of chemical reactions, or is there something more, something that gives life its unique quality, its ability to grow, to adapt, to evolve? These are questions that challenge our understanding of biology, but they also challenge our understanding of consciousness. For if life is rare in the universe, if consciousness is even rarer, then our responsibility is even greater. We are not just stewards of Earth, we are stewards of consciousness, of awareness. If we are the only beings in the universe capable of reflecting on existence, then we have an obligation to ensure that this awareness continues, that it is passed on to future generations, and perhaps even spread to other worlds. This sense of responsibility extends beyond the scientific and technological challenges of space exploration. It touches on the ethical, philosophical, and even spiritual dimensions of our journey. How will we interact with the environments we encounter? How will we treat the life forms we may discover? What kind of civilization will we become as we venture into the stars? These questions demand careful consideration, for they will shape the future of humanity and the legacy we leave behind. Will we be remembered as a species that expanded into the cosmos with wisdom and compassion, or as one that exploited the universe for short-term gain, without regard for the long-term consequences? The choices we make today will determine the answers to these questions. And as we explore, we must carry with us the knowledge that we are not separate from the universe, we are part of it. Our actions, our decisions, our presence in the cosmos, all have ripple effects that extend far beyond ourselves. This interconnectedness, the recognition that everything in the universe is linked, from the smallest particle to the largest galaxy, should guide our exploration. It should remind us that the universe is not just a collection of distant objects to be studied, but a living, dynamic system of which we are an integral part. In this light, the ethical principles that guide our actions on Earth should also guide our actions in space. We must approach other planets, moons, and celestial bodies with the same respect and care that we strive to show toward Earth. We must ensure that our exploration is guided by principles of sustainability, stewardship, and protection, not just for our own sake, but for the sake of the environments we encounter and the life forms we may discover. At the same time, we must also recognize that the exploration of space offers us a unique opportunity, a chance to transcend the divisions that have often plagued human history. When we look at Earth from space, we see no borders, no nations, no conflicts, only a small, fragile planet, home to all of humanity. This perspective, known as the overview effect, has the power to change how we see ourselves and our place in the universe. As we move forward, let us harness this perspective to create a future in which humanity is united in its quest for knowledge, understanding, and peace. Let us work together to solve the challenges we face on Earth, to reduce inequality, to protect the environment, and to ensure that the benefits of space exploration are shared by all. The stars, as always, will be there, waiting for us. But as we reach for them, let us do so with a sense of wonder, humility, and responsibility. For the universe, vast and beautiful as it is, has given us an extraordinary gift, the gift of consciousness, the gift of awareness. And it is up to us to ensure that this gift is cherished, nurtured, and passed on to future generations. In the end, the universe does not need us to explore it. It will continue its grand dance of creation and destruction, its cycles of birth and death, with or without us. But as long as we are here, as long as we are conscious and aware, we have the extraordinary opportunity to be a part of that dance, to witness it, to understand it, and to find meaning within it. Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known. And we, with our curiosity, our intelligence, and our capacity for wonder, are the ones who will discover it. The universe is a vast, interconnected tapestry, and we are but one thread in that grand design. This realization forces us to confront a fundamental truth, that while we are remarkable in our capacity for thought, creativity, and exploration, we are not the center of the cosmos. The stars, planets, and galaxies do not revolve around us, rather, we are part of a much larger and more intricate system, a system that has existed for billions of years and will continue long after we are gone. This understanding of our place in the universe, this cosmic perspective, does not diminish our significance, rather, it enhances it. It reminds us that we are connected to everything else, that the atoms in our bodies were forged in the hearts of ancient stars, that the energy that fuels our minds and movements has been circulating through the universe since the dawn of time. We are, quite literally, stardust. And yet, within this vast and ancient universe, life is fragile. Our existence is the result of a delicate balance of forces, gravity, electromagnetism, nuclear fusion, and the complex chemistry of biology. If even one of these forces were slightly different, life as we know it might not exist at all. This fragility is a reminder of the preciousness of life, not just on Earth, but potentially elsewhere in the universe. It is a reminder that we must approach our exploration of the cosmos with care, with humility, and with a deep sense of responsibility. The ethical dimensions of space exploration are not simply theoretical, they are practical, urgent, and immediate. As we look to colonize other planets, to mine asteroids for resources, and to expand our presence beyond Earth, we must ask ourselves, what kind of explorers do we want to be? Will we repeat the mistakes of our past, treating the universe as a resource to be exploited, or will we approach it with a sense of stewardship, seeking to protect and preserve the environments we encounter? The history of exploration on Earth is a cautionary tale. Too often, the expansion of human civilization has been accompanied by the exploitation of natural resources, the destruction of ecosystems, and the displacement of indigenous peoples. We cannot afford to repeat these mistakes as we venture into space. The stakes are simply too high. The exploration of the cosmos offers us a chance to start anew, to redefine what it means to be an explorer, to be a steward of the universe. Consider the possibility of life on Mars or the moons of Jupiter and Saturn. If we were to discover even the simplest form of microbial life, it would be one of the greatest scientific discoveries in history. But it would also raise profound ethical questions. How should we interact with this life? Do we have a moral obligation to protect it, to preserve its environment, even if doing so limits our ability to colonize or exploit those worlds? These are questions that go beyond science. They are questions of ethics, of values, of how we see ourselves in relation to the universe. Even if we do not find life elsewhere, the environments we encounter are still worthy of respect and protection. Mars, with its ancient river valleys and towering volcanoes, is a world shaped by billions of years of geological processes. The icy moons of Europa and Enceladus, with their subsurface oceans, are dynamic environments that may hold the ingredients for life. These are not just lifeless rocks to be mined, they are worlds with their own histories, their own stories to tell. And as explorers, we have a responsibility to listen to those stories, to learn from them, and to preserve them for future generations. The ethical principles that guide our actions in space should also guide our actions on Earth. The challenges we face, climate change, environmental degradation, inequality, and resource depletion, are deeply interconnected with the choices we make in our exploration of space. The technologies we develop to live sustainably on other planets, renewable energy, closed-loop ecosystems, efficient resource management, can and should be applied here on Earth to help solve the problems we face. In many ways, the exploration of space offers us a mirror, reflecting back the challenges we must address at home. The same ingenuity and creativity that drive us to explore the stars can be harnessed to create a more just, sustainable, and equitable world. The same sense of wonder and responsibility that inspires us to reach for the stars can also inspire us to protect and preserve the life that exists here, on our own planet. But the exploration of space is not just about solving problems, it is about expanding our horizons, about pushing the boundaries of what we know, about seeking new possibilities and new ways of being. It is about embracing the unknown, about finding meaning in the mystery, and about recognizing that the universe is far more vast, complex, and beautiful than we can ever fully understand. In this sense, space exploration is also a spiritual journey, a journey that forces us to confront the deepest questions of existence. Who are we? Why are we here? What is our place in the cosmos? These are questions that have been asked for millennia, by philosophers, poets, scientists, and ordinary people alike. And while we may never find definitive answers, the very act of asking them, of seeking to understand the universe and our place within it, is itself a meaningful pursuit. The search for extraterrestrial life, for example, is not just about finding other beings who share the universe with us. It is also about seeking connection, about finding common ground with the cosmos. If we are not alone, if life has arisen elsewhere, it would be a profound reminder that we are part of a larger cosmic community, that the story of life is not limited to Earth, but is written across the stars. And even if we are alone, that realization would carry its own significance. It would remind us of the uniqueness, the preciousness, of life on Earth. But whether or not we find life beyond Earth, the exploration of space offers us a way to connect with something larger than ourselves. It reminds us that we are part of a vast, interconnected universe, a universe that has been evolving for billions of years and will continue to evolve for billions more. Our individual lives, brief as they may be, are part of this grand cosmic story, and it is our privilege to witness it, to understand it, and to contribute to it. As we continue to explore, let us do so with a sense of wonder, humility, and responsibility. Let us approach the cosmos not as conquerors, but as stewards, seeking to protect and preserve the environments we encounter and the life we may discover. Let us use the knowledge and technologies we develop to create a better world here on Earth, to address the challenges we face, and to build a future that is just, sustainable, and full of possibility. The stars will always be there, waiting for us. And as we reach for them, let us do so with open minds, open hearts, and a deep respect for the universe and its mysteries. For somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known, and we, fragile, brilliant, and curious as we are the ones who will discover it. In many ways, space exploration forces us to confront fundamental questions about human nature. As we stand on the threshold of becoming a multiplanetary species, we must ask ourselves, what kind of legacy do we want to leave? What values will guide us as we step onto new worlds, into new environments, and perhaps even encounter new forms of life? The drive to explore is deeply embedded in our species. From the earliest days, humans have been wanderers, pushing beyond the horizon, seeking out new lands, new experiences, and new knowledge. This urge has led to some of humanity's greatest achievements, building civilizations, expanding scientific understanding, and fostering innovation. But it has also, at times, led to exploitation, conquest, and destruction. As we venture beyond Earth, we must learn from our history. The colonization of space offers us the chance to write a new chapter in the story of exploration, one that is built on respect, sustainability, and stewardship, rather than domination or resource extraction. Mars, for instance, is a tantalizing prospect for colonization, with its rich potential for scientific discovery and its possibilities for supporting human life. But Mars is also a planet with its own history, its own unique environment. It is a world that has existed for billions of years without us, and we must approach it with a sense of humility and respect for what it represents. Terraforming, a process by which we could alter Mars to make it more Earth-like, is often seen as a solution to the challenges of establishing a human presence on another planet. But the ethical implications of terraforming are immense. Do we have the right to alter an entire planet to suit our needs? Even if Mars is lifeless, does that give us the moral authority to reshape it? And if we were to discover even the faintest traces of microbial life, how would that change our approach? Would the preservation of native life take precedence over human colonization? These questions highlight the broader challenge we face as we expand into space: how to balance our desire to explore and thrive with our responsibility to protect the environments we encounter. The same ethical considerations apply to the mining of asteroids, the exploration of icy moons like Europa and Enceladus, and any future missions to distant exoplanets. Each of these endeavors presents both opportunities and risks: opportunities for discovery, for resource utilization, and for the expansion of human civilization, but also risks to the environments we explore and the life forms we may find. Our understanding of sustainability on Earth must inform our actions in space. The same principles that guide environmental stewardship on our planet, reducing our ecological footprint, preserving biodiversity, and using resources responsibly, must be applied to our exploration of other worlds. This is not simply a matter of ethics, it is a matter of survival. The technologies we develop to live sustainably on other planets, such as closed-loop life support systems, renewable energy, and efficient resource management, are not just essential for space colonization, they are critical for addressing the environmental challenges we face on Earth. In this way, space exploration and Earth stewardship are deeply interconnected. The lessons we learn from one can inform and enhance the other. By developing the tools and technologies to live sustainably in space, we can create a more sustainable future here on Earth. And by learning to live in harmony with our environment on Earth, we can ensure that we do not repeat the mistakes of the past as we venture into space. But beyond the practical and ethical challenges of space exploration, there is a deeper, more philosophical question that we must confront: what is the purpose of our journey into the cosmos? Are we simply seeking new frontiers for economic expansion, or are we searching for something more, something that speaks to the human spirit, to our desire for connection, for meaning, for understanding? The search for extraterrestrial life, for example, is about more than just finding organisms on other planets. It is about seeking kinship with the universe, about finding our place in the grand cosmic story. If we were to discover life elsewhere, whether microbial or intelligent, it would be one of the most profound discoveries in human history. It would force us to reconsider our place in the universe, to reevaluate what it means to be alive, and to confront the possibility that we are not alone in our quest for understanding. But even if we do not find life beyond Earth, the search itself has immense value. It reminds us that we are part of a larger universe, that we are connected to the stars, to the planets, to the galaxies that stretch across the cosmos. It reminds us that the story of life is not limited to our planet, but is part of a much grander narrative, one that began with the birth of the universe and continues to unfold with each new discovery we make. This cosmic perspective is one of the greatest gifts of space exploration. It reminds us that our individual lives, while brief, are part of something much larger. It forces us to see beyond the narrow confines of our daily struggles and concerns and to recognize the interconnectedness of all things. It inspires us to look up, to wonder, to ask the big questions: who are we? Why are we here? What is our place in the universe? These are questions that have no easy answers, and perhaps they will never be fully answered. But the act of asking them, of seeking to understand the cosmos and our role within it, is itself a profoundly meaningful pursuit. It is what drives us to explore, to push the boundaries of knowledge, and to reach for the stars. As we continue our journey into the cosmos, let us do so with a sense of wonder and responsibility. Let us recognize that the universe is vast, mysterious, and full of potential, and that we, as conscious beings, have the unique privilege of being able to explore it, to understand it, and to find meaning within it. Let us act as stewards of the cosmos, not as conquerors, preserving the beauty and complexity of the worlds we encounter, while also ensuring that the benefits of exploration are shared by all of humanity. For in the end, the universe is not just a place to be explored, it is a source of inspiration, of connection, of wonder. It reminds us that we are part of something much larger than ourselves, that our actions have consequences that extend far beyond our individual lives, our generation, or even our species. And as we reach for the stars, we carry with us the hope that our journey will not only expand our knowledge, but also deepen our understanding of what it means to be human, to be alive, to be part of the cosmos. The stars will always be there, waiting for us. And as long as we continue to explore, to ask questions, and to seek understanding, we will remain connected to the grand cosmic story of which we are a part. Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known, and we, with our boundless curiosity, are the ones who will discover it. Our exploration of space is a manifestation of our intrinsic need to push beyond the boundaries of the known. Yet as we venture out into the farthest reaches of the cosmos, we are reminded of a simple truth: the universe is not just something we explore, it is something we are deeply connected to. The atoms that make up our bodies were born in the fiery hearts of ancient stars, and the energy that fuels our thoughts and actions has been circulating through the universe since its inception. In this way, we are not just observers of the cosmos, we are participants in its grand unfolding. This realization, that we are part of the very fabric of the universe, brings with it a sense of profound responsibility. It reminds us that our actions, both on Earth and in space, have far-reaching consequences, and that we must approach our exploration of the cosmos with care, humility, and foresight. As we stand on the brink of becoming an interplanetary species, the choices we make now will define not only the future of humanity but also the legacy we leave for the universe itself. One of the central questions we must confront as we expand into space is the nature of life itself. What is life, and how do we define it? Is life simply a set of biological processes, or is there something deeper that gives it meaning and value? These questions are not just theoretical, they have real implications for how we explore other planets and how we interact with the environments we encounter. If we were to discover life beyond Earth, it would forever change our understanding of biology, of consciousness, and of our place in the universe. Even the simplest microbial life on Mars, Europa, or an exoplanet would be a profound discovery, revealing that life is not unique to Earth and that the universe is capable of producing living systems in a variety of environments. But this discovery would also raise ethical questions. How should we interact with this life? What rights do we have to study it, to alter its environment, or to use the resources of its home planet? Do we have a responsibility to protect and preserve extraterrestrial life, even if it conflicts with our own goals of exploration and colonization? These are questions that we cannot afford to answer lightly. The discovery of life elsewhere in the universe would be one of the most significant events in human history, and it would force us to rethink our role as stewards of life and consciousness. Even if we do not find life, the environments we explore, whether it is the barren surface of Mars, the icy oceans of Europa, or the distant atmospheres of exoplanets, are still part of the universe's grand design, and they deserve our respect and protection. The ethical dilemmas of space exploration are not limited to questions of life. They extend to the very ways in which we interact with the planets and moons we encounter. Mars, for example, is a world with its own history, its own geology, and its own beauty. It is a planet that has existed for billions of years without human intervention, shaped by processes that we are only just beginning to understand. As we prepare to send humans to Mars and potentially colonize the planet, we must ask ourselves, what right do we have to alter Mars's environment to suit our needs? Is it ethical to terraform Mars, to change its climate, its landscape, and its ecosystems in order to make it habitable for humans? Or should we leave Mars as it is, preserving its natural state even if that means limiting our own expansion? These are difficult questions, and they force us to confront the tension between our desire to explore and our responsibility to protect. On Earth, we are still grappling with the consequences of our impact on the environment, deforestation, species extinction, climate change, and we must ensure that we do not carry these same patterns of exploitation and destruction with us as we venture into space. The principles of sustainability and stewardship that guide our actions on Earth must also guide our actions in space. We must learn to live in harmony with the environments we encounter, using resources wisely, minimizing our impact, and protecting the beauty and diversity of the cosmos. But beyond the practical and ethical challenges of space exploration, there is also a deeper, more spiritual dimension to our journey into the stars. The universe, in all its vastness and complexity, invites us to reflect on the nature of existence, on the meaning of life, and on the purpose of consciousness. As we look out at the galaxies, nebulae, and stars that fill the night sky, we are reminded of how small we are in the grand scheme of things, and yet, paradoxically, we are also reminded of how extraordinary it is that we are here at all. The universe has existed for billions of years, and yet for a brief moment in time, we have emerged as conscious beings capable of asking questions, seeking answers, and contemplating the very nature of the cosmos. This ability, to think, to wonder, to explore, is one of the most remarkable aspects of human existence. It is what sets us apart, what drives us forward, and what connects us to the larger story of the universe. This sense of connection, the knowledge that we are part of something much larger than ourselves, brings with it a sense of purpose. It reminds us that our journey into the cosmos is not just about expanding our knowledge or extending our reach, it is about finding meaning in the vastness of space, about understanding our place in the grand unfolding of the universe. The search for extraterrestrial life, for example, is not just about finding other beings who share the universe with us, it is about seeking kinship with the cosmos, about finding a sense of belonging in a universe that can often seem indifferent to our presence. Even if we do not find life elsewhere, the very act of searching, of exploring, is meaningful in itself. It reminds us that we are part of a larger story, one that began with the birth of the universe and continues to unfold with each new discovery we make. And it is this sense of wonder, of curiosity, of connection, that drives us to explore the stars, to push the boundaries of what we know, and to seek new possibilities for the future. As we look to the future of space exploration, we must carry this sense of wonder and responsibility with us. The choices we make today, about how we explore, how we interact with the environments we encounter, and how we treat each other, will shape the future of humanity for generations to come. We have the power to create a future in which humanity thrives, in which life flourishes, and in which the universe continues to be a source of awe and inspiration. But that future depends on our ability to act with wisdom, with compassion, and with a deep respect for the cosmos and its mysteries. The stars will always be there, waiting for us. But as we reach for them, let us do so with open hearts, open minds, and a deep sense of responsibility. For somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known, and we, with our capacity for wonder, are the ones who will discover it. At the heart of our exploration lies a paradox. We are infinitesimally small in the scale of the cosmos, and yet we are capable of comprehending that very vastness. This ability to reflect on the universe, to question our place within it, and to seek meaning in the stars is a defining feature of human existence. It is both humbling and empowering to recognize that, in a universe billions of years old and teeming with galaxies, we are conscious beings able to explore and understand this cosmic expanse. But this consciousness, this spark of awareness, carries with it a profound responsibility. As we stretch our reach beyond Earth, we are faced with decisions that will have lasting impacts, not only on our own species but on the environments we encounter and the potential life forms we may discover. The ethical questions surrounding space exploration are no longer theoretical, they are real, and they demand careful consideration. One of the most immediate questions we face as we plan for human missions to Mars and other planets is how we will balance our desire to expand with our responsibility to protect. Mars, a planet that has intrigued us for centuries, is a world with its own geological history, its own mysteries, and potentially, its own forms of life. Even if we do not find advanced life on Mars, the discovery of even the simplest microorganisms would be a profound revelation. It would prove that life is not unique to Earth and that the universe is capable of producing living systems in diverse environments. But if we do find life on Mars, or on any other world, how should we interact with it? What rights does this life have, and how should we prioritize its preservation over our own goals of exploration and colonization? These are not easy questions to answer. The discovery of life beyond Earth would challenge our ethical frameworks, forcing us to reconsider what it means to be alive and what responsibilities we have toward other forms of life, no matter how primitive. Even if Mars is barren of life, it is still a world worth protecting. The geological features of Mars, its ancient riverbeds, its towering volcanoes, its vast plains, are part of the planet's natural history, a history that has unfolded over billions of years. As we plan for human settlement on Mars, we must ask ourselves whether we have the right to alter its landscape to suit our needs. Terraforming, for instance, may seem like a practical solution for creating a more Earth-like environment on Mars, but it raises profound ethical questions. Do we have the right to reshape an entire planet? Should we prioritize human expansion over the preservation of Mars's natural state? These questions highlight the broader ethical challenges of space exploration. They force us to confront the tension between our desire to explore and our responsibility to protect. On Earth, we have often failed to live in harmony with the natural world, leading to environmental degradation, species extinction, and the destruction of ecosystems. As we venture into space, we must ensure that we do not carry these same patterns of exploitation and destruction with us. The concept of stewardship, of caring for and protecting the environments we encounter, must guide our actions as we expand into space. We must learn to live in harmony with the worlds we explore, using resources responsibly, minimizing our impact, and preserving the beauty and complexity of the cosmos. This is not just a matter of ethics, it is a matter of survival. The technologies we develop to live sustainably in space, such as closed-loop life support systems, renewable energy, and efficient resource management, are critical for ensuring that humanity can thrive on other planets. But these same technologies are also essential for addressing the environmental challenges we face on Earth. Indeed, space exploration offers us a unique opportunity to reflect on our relationship with our home planet. As we look to the stars, we are reminded that Earth is the only world we know of that supports life, and that life is fragile. The challenges we face, climate change, habitat destruction, pollution, are a reminder of the delicate balance that sustains life on Earth. The principles of sustainability and stewardship that we apply to space exploration must also guide our actions on Earth. We cannot afford to neglect our responsibility to protect the ecosystems that support life on this planet, even as we search for life elsewhere. But beyond the practical and ethical challenges of space exploration, there is also a deeper, more existential dimension to our journey into the cosmos. The universe, in all its vastness, invites us to reflect on the nature of existence, on the meaning of life, and on the purpose of consciousness. As we explore the stars, we are not just seeking new worlds or new knowledge, we are also seeking answers to the most fundamental questions of existence. The search for extraterrestrial life, for example, is not just a scientific endeavor, it is a philosophical one. If we are not alone in the universe, if life has arisen elsewhere, it would have profound implications for our understanding of biology, of consciousness, and of our place in the cosmos. It would remind us that life is not unique to Earth and that we are part of a larger, cosmic community of living beings. But even if we do not find life beyond Earth, the search itself is meaningful. It reminds us of the interconnectedness of all things, of the fact that we are part of a universe that is far larger and more complex than we can fully comprehend. This cosmic perspective, a perspective that sees humanity as part of the grand unfolding of the universe, can inspire a sense of wonder, humility, and responsibility. It can remind us that our actions, both on Earth and in space, have consequences that extend far beyond ourselves. This sense of interconnectedness, of being part of something larger, is one of the most profound gifts of space exploration. It reminds us that we are not separate from the universe but deeply embedded within it. The same forces that shape the stars and galaxies also shape our lives, and the same laws of physics that govern the motion of planets and black holes govern the chemistry of our bodies and the thoughts in our minds. This recognition, that we are part of the universe, and the universe is part of us, invites us to reflect on the nature of consciousness itself. What is consciousness? Is it unique to humans, or is it a fundamental feature of the universe, present in some form in all living beings? Could it be that consciousness is not confined to Earth, but is a cosmic phenomenon, arising wherever the conditions for life exist? These are questions that push the boundaries of science, philosophy, and spirituality, and they challenge us to think deeply about the nature of life and the universe. As we look to the future of space exploration, we must carry these questions with us. The choices we make today, about how we explore, how we interact with the environments we encounter, and how we treat each other, will shape the future of humanity for generations to come. We have the power to create a future in which humanity thrives, in which life flourishes, and in which the universe continues to be a source of awe and inspiration. But that future depends on our ability to act with wisdom, compassion, and a deep respect for the cosmos and its mysteries. The stars will always be there, waiting for us. But as we reach for them, let us do so with open hearts, open minds, and a sense of wonder for the beauty and complexity of the universe we inhabit. For somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known, and we, with our boundless curiosity, are the ones who will discover it. As we stand at the threshold of becoming a spacefaring civilization, these questions take on new urgency. The more we learn about the universe, the more we are reminded of our own fragility, and of the fleeting nature of life in the cosmic scale. But in this fragility, there is also beauty, a reminder that our existence, while brief, is deeply meaningful. It is through our consciousness, through our ability to reflect, to explore, and to wonder, that the universe itself becomes aware of its own existence. This awareness is a gift, but it is also a responsibility. As we expand into the cosmos, we are not just carrying with us our technology and our knowledge, we are carrying our values, our ethics, and our vision of what it means to be human. The choices we make in this new era of exploration will define not only our future but the future of life itself, both on Earth and beyond. One of the most profound questions we face is how we will interact with other forms of life, should we encounter them. The discovery of extraterrestrial life, whether microbial or intelligent, would be one of the greatest scientific and philosophical revelations in human history. It would challenge our understanding of biology, of consciousness, and of our place in the universe. But it would also raise complex ethical questions. How should we treat other forms of life? Do they have rights, as we do? What responsibilities do we have to protect and preserve their environments, even if it means limiting our own expansion? These questions are not just hypothetical. As we prepare to explore worlds like Mars, Europa, and Enceladus, worlds that may harbor life, we must confront the possibility that we are not alone in the universe. Even if the life we find is simple and primitive, it would still be a profound discovery, one that forces us to consider the implications of sharing the universe with other forms of life. In many ways, the search for extraterrestrial life is also a search for connection. It is an expression of our desire to find kinship with the cosmos, to discover that life is not unique to Earth but is a fundamental feature of the universe. If we find life elsewhere, it would remind us that we are part of a larger cosmic community, and that the story of life is not confined to our planet but is written across the stars. But even if we do not find life beyond Earth, the act of searching itself is deeply meaningful. It reminds us of the interconnectedness of all things, that we are part of a universe that is far larger, far older, and far more complex than we can fully comprehend. This cosmic perspective has the power to change how we see ourselves and our place in the universe. It can inspire a sense of wonder, of humility, and of responsibility. It can remind us that our actions, both on Earth and in space, have consequences that extend far beyond ourselves. This interconnectedness also speaks to the deeper, more philosophical questions that arise from our exploration of space. What is life? What is consciousness? Are we alone in the universe, or is life a common feature of the cosmos, waiting to be discovered on other worlds? These are questions that challenge not only our scientific understanding but also our spiritual and ethical frameworks. The possibility that life exists elsewhere in the universe forces us to reconsider the nature of consciousness itself. Is consciousness unique to humans, or is it a universal phenomenon that arises wherever the conditions for life exist? Could it be that consciousness, like life, is woven into the very fabric of the universe, and that it manifests in different ways on different planets and in different forms of life? These are questions that push the boundaries of our understanding and that invite us to think deeply about the nature of existence. As we continue to explore the cosmos, we must also reflect on what it means to be human. What values will we carry with us as we expand into space? How will we balance our desire for exploration and discovery with our responsibility to protect the environments we encounter? These are not just scientific or technical questions, they are moral questions that demand careful consideration. The history of exploration on Earth offers important lessons. Too often, the expansion of human civilization has been accompanied by the exploitation of natural resources, the displacement of indigenous peoples, and the destruction of ecosystems. As we venture into space, we have the opportunity to write a new chapter in the story of exploration, one that is guided by principles of stewardship, sustainability, and respect for life. The ethical challenges of space exploration extend beyond the discovery of extraterrestrial life. They also involve how we interact with the planets and moons we explore. Mars, for example, is a planet with a rich geological history, shaped by processes that we are only just beginning to understand. As we plan for human missions to Mars, we must ask ourselves whether we have the right to alter its environment to suit our needs. Is it ethical to terraform Mars, to change its climate and landscape in order to make it more habitable for humans? Or should we preserve its natural state, even if that limits our ability to colonize the planet? These are difficult questions, and they force us to confront the tension between our desire to explore and our responsibility to protect. On Earth, we have often failed to live in harmony with the natural world, leading to environmental degradation and the loss of biodiversity. As we expand into space, we must ensure that we do not carry these same patterns of exploitation with us. The principles of sustainability and stewardship that we apply on Earth must also guide our actions in space. But beyond the practical and ethical challenges of space exploration, there is also a deeper, more spiritual dimension to our journey into the stars. The universe, in all its vastness and complexity, invites us to reflect on the nature of existence, on the meaning of life, and on the purpose of consciousness. As we explore the stars, we are not just seeking new worlds or new knowledge, we are also seeking answers to the most fundamental questions of existence. The search for meaning is a deeply human endeavor, and space exploration offers us a unique opportunity to reflect on the nature of life, the universe, and everything. It invites us to think beyond the confines of our daily lives, to see ourselves as part of a larger cosmic story that has been unfolding for billions of years. This cosmic perspective, the realization that we are part of something much larger than ourselves, can inspire a sense of awe, wonder, and responsibility. It can remind us that our actions, both on Earth and in space, have consequences that extend far beyond our individual lives. And it can inspire us to act with wisdom, compassion, and humility as we continue our journey into the cosmos. As we look to the future of space exploration, we must carry this sense of wonder and responsibility with us. The stars will always be there, waiting for us. But as we reach for them, let us do so with open hearts, open minds, and a deep respect for the universe and its mysteries. For somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known, and we, with our boundless curiosity and capacity for wonder, are the ones who will discover it. The universe, vast and ancient, has existed for billions of years without our presence, and it will continue to evolve long after we are gone. Yet, in this brief moment of cosmic time, we are here, conscious, curious, and capable of exploring the stars. This capacity for exploration is one of humanity's most extraordinary qualities, but it is also one that comes with immense responsibility. As we stand at the dawn of interplanetary exploration, the decisions we make today will shape not only the future of human civilization but also the fate of other worlds. One of the central ethical challenges we face as we prepare to send humans to Mars and beyond is how we will balance our desire for exploration with our obligation to protect and preserve. Mars, with its ancient landscapes and potential for harboring life, is not just another frontier to be conquered, it is a world with its own intrinsic value. Even if we do not find life on Mars, the planet's unique geological history, its dried riverbeds, its towering volcanoes, and its frozen polar caps, deserves our respect and careful stewardship. The idea of terraforming Mars, of transforming its environment to make it more hospitable for human life, has captured the imagination of many. But this vision of a second Earth raises profound ethical questions. Do we have the right to alter an entire planet for our own purposes? What are the long-term consequences of such actions, not just for Mars itself, but for the broader cosmos? As we consider these questions, we must remember that our actions in space will be part of a much larger story, a story that extends beyond human needs and desires. This is where the concept of stewardship becomes essential. Just as we are learning to live more sustainably on Earth, we must apply those same principles to our exploration of other planets. We must recognize that Mars, and indeed any celestial body, is not ours to exploit. It is part of the universe's grand tapestry, shaped by processes that have unfolded over billions of years. Our role as explorers should not be one of domination, but of partnership, working with the environment, learning from it, and ensuring that our presence does not cause irreversible harm. The same ethical principles apply to our exploration of other moons and planets, particularly those that may harbor life. Europa, one of Jupiter's moons, is a prime candidate for the discovery of extraterrestrial life, with its subsurface ocean potentially providing the conditions necessary for microbial organisms to exist. But what if we do find life on Europa? How should we interact with it? Do we have the right to study it, to alter its environment, or even to use its resources? Or should we take a more protective approach, ensuring that we do not disrupt the delicate ecosystems that may exist beneath Europa's icy surface? These questions remind us that the search for extraterrestrial life is not just a scientific endeavor, it is a moral one. It forces us to consider our place in the universe and our relationship to other forms of life, whether they are microbial organisms on distant moons or intelligent civilizations on faraway planets. The discovery of life beyond Earth would be one of the most profound moments in human history, challenging our understanding of biology, consciousness, and our place in the cosmic order. But even if we do not find life, the act of searching itself is valuable. It reminds us of the interconnectedness of all things, of the fact that we are part of a universe that is far larger and more complex than we can fully comprehend. The search for life encourages us to think about the nature of life itself, what it means to be alive, what it means to be conscious, and what it means to share the universe with other forms of existence. This sense of interconnectedness is one of the greatest gifts of space exploration. It helps us see beyond the boundaries of our own lives, our own planet, and our own species. It reminds us that we are part of something much larger, much older, and much more mysterious than we may ever fully understand. This cosmic perspective has the power to transform how we see ourselves and our place in the universe. It can inspire a sense of awe and wonder, but also a deep sense of responsibility. As we continue our exploration of space, we must carry this sense of responsibility with us. The decisions we make today will have lasting consequences, not only for ourselves but for the future of life in the cosmos. We must act with care, with wisdom, and with a profound respect for the environments we encounter and the life forms we may discover. But beyond the ethical and practical challenges of space exploration, there is also a deeper, more philosophical dimension to our journey. The universe, in all its vastness, invites us to reflect on the nature of existence, on the meaning of life, and on the purpose of consciousness. As we explore the stars, we are not just seeking new worlds or new knowledge, we are also seeking answers to the most fundamental questions of existence. Why are we here? What is our purpose in the universe? Are we alone, or are there other beings out there, also contemplating these same questions? These are questions that have no easy answers, and perhaps they never will. But the act of asking them, of seeking to understand the universe and our place within it, is itself a meaningful pursuit. It is what drives us to explore, to push the boundaries of knowledge, and to reach for the stars. In this sense, space exploration is not just a scientific endeavor, it is a deeply spiritual one. It challenges us to think beyond the confines of our daily lives, to see ourselves as part of a larger cosmic story, and to recognize that our actions, both on Earth and in space, have consequences that extend far beyond ourselves. This cosmic perspective can inspire us to act with greater compassion, both toward each other and toward the planet we call home. It can remind us that the Earth, with all its beauty and complexity, is a rare and precious world, and that we have a responsibility to protect it. The same principles of stewardship that we apply to our exploration of other planets must also guide our actions on Earth. We cannot afford to neglect our responsibility to protect the ecosystems that sustain life here, even as we search for life elsewhere. As we look to the future of space exploration, we must carry this sense of wonder, responsibility, and humility with us. The stars will always be there, waiting for us. But as we reach for them, let us do so with open hearts, open minds, and a deep respect for the universe and its mysteries. For somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known, and we, with our capacity for wonder and exploration, are the ones who will discover it. The future of space exploration will not just be defined by the destinations we reach, but by the way we conduct ourselves as explorers. The ethical considerations that come with the colonization of other worlds, the search for extraterrestrial life, and the utilization of space resources will define how future generations perceive this era. This future calls for a mindset that prioritizes responsibility, stewardship, and a deep respect for the environments and potential life forms we may encounter. One of the most exciting and complex possibilities we face is the colonization of other planets, particularly Mars. The dream of making Mars a second home for humanity has captured the imagination of scientists, visionaries, and the public alike. The idea of humans living and thriving on another world speaks to our deepest instincts, to explore, to expand, and to survive. But with this dream comes significant ethical challenges. Terraforming Mars, or altering its environment to make it more suitable for human life, is often seen as a way to ensure the long-term survival of humanity. However, the ethical implications of terraforming are profound. What rights do we have to fundamentally alter another planet's environment? Mars has its own history, one that has unfolded over billions of years. Even though Mars appears lifeless today, it is still a world with its own natural processes and geological identity. Changing those processes to suit our needs would be a monumental act, one that could have irreversible consequences. Additionally, there is the possibility that Mars may still harbor life, even if only in the form of microorganisms. If we were to discover life on Mars, how should we interact with it? Do we have a moral obligation to protect it, to preserve its environment, even if that conflicts with our own goals of colonization? These are questions we must answer before we begin to reshape another world in our image. We must be careful not to repeat the mistakes of Earth's history, where expansion and colonization often came at the expense of indigenous peoples and ecosystems. The same ethical considerations apply to the exploration of other moons and planets, particularly those that may harbor life. Europa, one of Jupiter's moons, with its vast subsurface ocean, is one of the most promising candidates for extraterrestrial life in our solar system. If life exists beneath its icy crust, we must carefully consider how we interact with that environment. Do we have the right to drill into its oceans, to study its organisms, or to use its resources? Or should we take a more protective stance, ensuring that we do not disturb the ecosystems that may exist there? These questions challenge us to think deeply about the rights of other forms of life, even if they are as simple as microbes. Beyond the search for life, there is also the question of how we will use the resources of space. The idea of mining asteroids for minerals and metals has the potential to revolutionize our economy and provide the materials needed for large-scale space exploration and colonization. However, the ethical implications of resource extraction in space are significant. Should we view space as an untapped resource, free for exploitation, or should we approach it with caution and restraint? The extraction of resources from asteroids and other celestial bodies could have unintended consequences, not only for the environments of those bodies but also for the balance of resources on Earth. Space mining also raises broader questions about economic equity. Who will benefit from the wealth generated by space resources? Will it be concentrated in the hands of a few corporations and nations, or will it be shared for the benefit of all humanity? The future of space exploration offers the possibility of unprecedented wealth, but it also carries the risk of deepening inequality. As we expand into space, we must ensure that the benefits of this new frontier are distributed fairly and that the pursuit of profit does not come at the expense of the environment or the rights of future generations. At its core, the exploration of space is an invitation to reflect on the kind of civilization we want to become. Will we be a species that expands recklessly, exploiting the universe for short-term gain? Or will we be a species that recognizes its place within the larger web of life, acting as stewards of the cosmos, preserving its beauty and complexity for future generations? The choices we make today will define the trajectory of human civilization for centuries to come. But beyond the practical and ethical challenges of space exploration, there is also a deeper, more philosophical dimension to our journey. As we explore the stars, we are not just seeking new worlds or new resources, we are seeking answers to the most fundamental questions of existence. Why are we here? What is our purpose in the universe? Are we alone, or are there other beings out there, also contemplating these same questions? The possibility of discovering intelligent extraterrestrial civilizations is one of the most profound aspects of space exploration. If we were to find such civilizations, it would transform our understanding of consciousness, intelligence, and the nature of life. But how would we interact with these beings? What ethical framework would guide our contact with them? Would we approach them as equals, seeking to learn from them, or would we repeat the mistakes of our past, viewing them as resources to be exploited or threats to be neutralized? These questions challenge us to think beyond our immediate goals and to consider the long-term consequences of our actions. The discovery of intelligent life would be one of the greatest moments in human history, but it would also raise profound ethical and philosophical questions about our place in the universe and our responsibility to other forms of life. Even if we never find extraterrestrial civilizations, the act of searching for them is meaningful. It reminds us that we are part of a larger cosmic community, even if we are the only conscious beings we know of. This sense of cosmic perspective can inspire us to act with greater compassion, both toward each other and toward the planet we call home. The Earth, with all its beauty and complexity, is a rare and precious world. The same principles of stewardship that we apply to our exploration of other planets must also guide our actions on Earth. We cannot afford to neglect our responsibility to protect the ecosystems that sustain life here, even as we search for life elsewhere. The lessons we learn from living sustainably on Earth will be critical as we expand into space, and the technologies we develop for life in space can help us solve the environmental challenges we face on our home planet. As we look to the future, we must carry with us the sense of wonder and responsibility that has always driven human exploration. The stars will always be there, waiting for us. But as we reach for them, let us do so with open hearts, open minds, and a deep respect for the universe and its mysteries. For somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known, and we, with our boundless curiosity and capacity for wonder, are the ones who will discover it. The dream of becoming a multiplanetary species is no longer the stuff of science fiction. With each passing year, we make tangible progress toward establishing a human presence on other worlds, particularly Mars. The idea that future generations could live, work, and thrive on a world beyond Earth is both exhilarating and daunting. But as we move closer to this reality, we must also confront the ethical implications of such a monumental step. Mars, like Earth, is a planet with a history billions of years in the making. Its ancient landscapes, shaped by volcanic activity, water flow, and atmospheric change, tell a story that stretches back to the earliest days of the solar system. It is a world that has existed without us, and as we plan to colonize it, we must ask ourselves, what will our role be in Mars's future? Will we be careful stewards, preserving its natural beauty and respecting its geological history, or will we treat it as merely another resource to exploit? The question of terraforming Mars, a process that would involve altering its atmosphere, climate, and surface to make it more Earth-like, captures both the promise and the peril of space exploration. On the one hand, terraforming could provide a long-term solution to the challenges of human survival in space, offering a new home for humanity and alleviating the pressures of overpopulation and environmental degradation on Earth. But on the other hand, the act of reshaping an entire planet to suit our needs raises profound ethical concerns. Do we have the right to transform Mars, potentially destroying its natural processes and geological heritage, simply because we can? And what if, in the process of terraforming, we discover evidence of past or present life on Mars? How would this change our approach? Would we continue to prioritize human expansion, or would the discovery of life on Mars demand that we protect the planet's environment and preserve its ecosystems? The ethical dilemmas of terraforming are not just limited to Mars. As we look further into the solar system and beyond, we must consider how we will interact with other planets and moons. Europa, with its subsurface ocean, holds the tantalizing possibility of harboring life. If we were to find evidence of living organisms on Europa, how would we proceed? The discovery of extraterrestrial life, even in its simplest forms, would force us to confront the moral implications of our actions. Would we be willing to risk the disruption or destruction of an alien ecosystem in order to study it? Or would we take a more cautious approach, recognizing that the preservation of life, no matter how small or different from our own, must take precedence over human exploration? These questions force us to reflect on the nature of life itself. What does it mean to be alive, and what responsibilities do we have toward other forms of life, both on Earth and beyond? Our understanding of life has been shaped by our experience on Earth, but the universe may offer forms of life that challenge our definitions and assumptions. How will we recognize and respect life that may be vastly different from anything we have encountered before? But even if we do not find life elsewhere, the environments we explore, whether it's the dry, rocky surface of Mars, the icy moons of Jupiter and Saturn, or the distant planets orbiting other stars, are still part of the cosmic web of existence. They are worlds with their own histories, their own processes, and their own intrinsic value. Just as we have a responsibility to protect the environments and ecosystems of Earth, we must also take care to preserve the natural beauty and integrity of the planets and moons we explore. Our actions in space must be guided by principles of sustainability, stewardship, and respect for the environments we encounter. Beyond the immediate ethical challenges of space exploration, there is a broader, more existential question that underpins our journey into the cosmos: what are we searching for? Is it merely survival, a way to ensure that humanity continues in the face of potential global catastrophes? Or is it something more, a deeper understanding of the universe and our place within it? The search for extraterrestrial life, particularly intelligent life, is one of the most profound endeavors of our time. The possibility that we are not alone in the universe, that other civilizations exist somewhere in the vast expanse of space, has captivated the human imagination for centuries. If we were to find evidence of such civilizations, it would be a moment of profound significance, one that would force us to rethink everything we know about life, consciousness, and our role in the cosmos. But what if we are alone? What if, in all the vastness of space, we are the only intelligent beings? This possibility is equally profound, for it would place an even greater responsibility on our shoulders. If we are the universe's only conscious observers, then it falls to us to ensure that consciousness continues to exist, that life continues to thrive, and that the universe remains a place of wonder, discovery, and meaning. The possibility of human exceptionalism in the cosmos would not make us more important or central, but it would magnify the stakes of our survival. In such a scenario, our role as stewards of life and consciousness becomes even more critical. The choices we make, both on Earth and in space, will determine not only the future of humanity but the future of life itself. This realization, that we may be alone in the universe or that we may be part of a vast, interconnected web of life, forces us to think deeply about the values we carry with us as we explore the cosmos. What kind of civilization do we want to become? Will we be a species that seeks domination and control, or one that values curiosity, compassion, and stewardship? These questions are not just philosophical musings, they are practical and urgent, for the decisions we make now will shape the future of human civilization and the broader cosmic story. But as we continue to explore the stars, we must also remember the lessons we have learned on Earth. Our planet is a rare and precious world, a place where life has flourished in all its diversity and complexity. As we search for life elsewhere, we must not neglect our responsibility to protect the ecosystems that sustain life here. The same principles of sustainability and stewardship that guide our actions in space must also guide our actions on Earth. The technologies we develop for space exploration, renewable energy, closed-loop life support systems, efficient resource management, can help us address the environmental challenges we face on our home planet. In this way, space exploration is not just about expanding our presence in the universe, it is about finding new ways to live sustainably and harmoniously on Earth. As we look to the future, let us carry with us the sense of wonder, responsibility, and humility that has always driven human exploration. The stars will always be there, waiting for us. But as we reach for them, let us do so with open hearts, open minds, and a deep respect for the universe and its mysteries. For somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known, and we, with our capacity for wonder and exploration, are the ones who will discover it. The idea of becoming a multiplanetary species is one of the most ambitious goals humanity has ever set. Mars, our closest planetary neighbor, offers the most realistic chance of achieving this vision in the near future. The prospect of human colonies on Mars has been met with excitement, as it promises a new era of human civilization, one that is no longer confined to a single planet, but one that can thrive across the solar system. However, as we plan for this monumental step, we must also confront the consequences of transforming Mars into a human habitat. The potential colonization of Mars raises critical questions about the kind of civilization we want to create beyond Earth. What values will guide our actions as we establish a new human presence on another world? Will we prioritize human expansion at any cost, Or will we seek to live in harmony with the Martian environment, respecting its history, its landscapes, and its possible biological uniqueness? These are not simply questions of practicality, but of ethics and morality. Mars, like Earth, is a world that has evolved over billions of years. Its surface bears the scars of volcanic eruptions, flowing rivers, and atmospheric changes, all of which tell the story of a planet that once had the conditions for water, and perhaps life. The possibility of discovering life on Mars, whether in the form of ancient microbial fossils or living organisms beneath the surface, complicates the question of colonization. If life exists or once existed on Mars, then we are not merely dealing with an empty, lifeless world, we are dealing with an ecosystem, no matter how primitive, that has intrinsic value. In such a case, our ethical obligations shift from merely preserving the environment to protecting the life that may exist there. The discovery of even the simplest form of life on Mars would force us to rethink our approach to colonization, demanding that we prioritize the preservation of Martian ecosystems over human expansion. Even in the absence of life, the transformation of Mars through terraforming, the process of altering its atmosphere, temperature, and surface to make it more Earth-like, raises ethical concerns. Do we have the right to reshape an entire planet for our own purposes? Mars is a world with its own geological identity, and altering that identity to suit our needs would have irreversible consequences. While the idea of terraforming may seem like a solution to the challenges of living on Mars, it also represents a profound act of interference in the natural processes of another world. As we move forward with plans for Mars colonization, we must carefully weigh the benefits of terraforming against the potential harm it could cause to the planet's natural state. But the ethical dilemmas of space exploration extend far beyond Mars. As we set our sights on the outer solar system, we must also consider how we will interact with the moons of Jupiter and Saturn, worlds like Europa, Enceladus, and Titan that hold the potential for harboring life. Europa, with its subsurface ocean beneath a thick layer of ice, is one of the most promising candidates for finding extraterrestrial life. If we were to discover life on Europa, it would be one of the most profound scientific discoveries in history, but it would also raise significant ethical questions. How should we interact with the life forms we discover? Do we have the right to study them, to alter their environment, or to extract resources from their home world? Or should we take a more protective approach, ensuring that we do not disturb their ecosystems in the name of human progress? These questions highlight a broader truth about space exploration. It is not just a technical challenge, but a moral one. As we venture into space, we are not merely expanding our presence in the universe, we are expanding the scope of our ethical responsibilities. The decisions we make today, about how we interact with other worlds, how we treat the life we may discover, and how we use the resources of space, will shape the future of human civilization and the broader cosmic environment. Space mining is another area where these ethical considerations come into play. The idea of extracting resources from asteroids, moons, and other celestial bodies has the potential to revolutionize industries on Earth and provide the raw materials needed for large-scale space exploration and colonization. However, space mining also raises important questions about sustainability, equity, and environmental impact. Should space be treated as a resource to be exploited for profit, or should it be approached with caution, recognizing that the extraction of resources from celestial bodies could have unintended consequences? Moreover, who will benefit from the wealth generated by space mining? Will it be concentrated in the hands of a few corporations or nations, or will it be distributed in a way that benefits all of humanity? As we move forward with space exploration, we must ensure that the principles of sustainability and stewardship guide our actions. We have already seen the consequences of unchecked resource extraction on Earth: deforestation, habitat destruction, climate change, and we must ensure that we do not carry these same patterns of exploitation with us as we venture into space. The resources of the cosmos are vast, but they are not infinite, and our use of them must be carefully considered and responsibly managed. Beyond the practical and ethical challenges, there is also a profound philosophical dimension to our journey into space. The search for extraterrestrial life, particularly intelligent life, forces us to confront fundamental questions about consciousness, intelligence, and the nature of life itself. If we were to find evidence of intelligent extraterrestrial civilizations, it would forever change our understanding of what it means to be alive and conscious in the universe. But even if we do not find such civilizations, the act of searching for them reminds us of the uniqueness and preciousness of life on Earth. What if we are alone in the universe? What if, in all the vastness of space, we are the only intelligent beings capable of contemplating the cosmos? This possibility places a great responsibility on our shoulders. If we are indeed the only conscious observers in the universe, then it falls to us to ensure that life and consciousness continue to thrive. We are, in a sense, the universe's way of knowing itself, and it is our responsibility to carry forward the flame of life, ensuring that it continues to burn brightly, both on Earth and in the stars. This cosmic perspective, the realization that we are part of something much larger than ourselves, can inspire us to act with greater compassion, both toward each other and toward the planet we call home. The Earth, with all its beauty and complexity, is a rare and precious world, and we have a responsibility to protect it. As we search for life elsewhere, we must not neglect our responsibility to the life that exists here. The principles of sustainability, stewardship, and respect that guide our actions in space must also guide our actions on Earth. As we look to the future, we must carry with us the sense of wonder, responsibility, and humility that has always driven human exploration. The stars will always be there, waiting for us. But as we reach for them, let us do so with open hearts, open minds, and a deep respect for the universe and its mysteries. For somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known, and we, with our boundless curiosity and capacity for wonder, are the ones who will discover it. Mars, with its red, windswept plains and towering volcanic peaks, continues to stand as our most attainable stepping stone to becoming a multiplanetary species. But as we envision our future on Mars, we are faced with profound questions about the kind of civilization we wish to create beyond Earth. What will the values of a Martian society be? Will it be driven by the same dynamics that have shaped human history on Earth, competition for resources, exploitation of the environment, and unbridled expansion? Or will it be guided by new principles, grounded in sustainability, cooperation, and respect for the planet's unique character? One of the central challenges of Mars colonization is how we approach the planet itself. Mars is not a blank canvas waiting for human settlement, it is a world with its own history, its own landscapes, and perhaps its own secrets. The ethical dilemma of terraforming, transforming Mars to make it more hospitable for human life, is emblematic of the tension between our desire to survive and thrive and our responsibility to respect the natural environment of the planets we explore. Terraforming would be an unprecedented act of planetary engineering, one that would forever alter Mars's atmosphere, temperature, and surface. It would turn Mars into a second Earth, a place where humans could live without the need for protective habitats or spacesuits. But at what cost? The question of whether we should terraform Mars forces us to consider our relationship with nature, both on Earth and in the wider cosmos. On Earth, we are learning, sometimes painfully, that our actions have far-reaching consequences for the environment. Deforestation, climate change, and biodiversity loss are all reminders of what happens when we prioritize short-term human needs over the long-term health of ecosystems. As we plan for Mars, we must take these lessons with us. We must ask ourselves whether we have the right to impose our will on another planet, simply because we have the technology to do so. Mars is not Earth, and transforming it to resemble our home planet could mean losing something irreplaceable, the opportunity to study an alien world in its natural state, free from human influence. The possibility of life on Mars, whether in the form of ancient fossils or living organisms beneath the surface, only complicates this ethical question further. If life exists on Mars, even in the simplest microbial form, then our obligations to protect and preserve its environment become even more pressing. The discovery of life on Mars would not only transform our understanding of biology, but it would also force us to rethink our role in the universe. No longer would we be the only known carriers of life in the cosmos, we would be part of a larger web of existence, one that spans planets and possibly star systems. In such a scenario, preserving Mars's environment would not just be an ethical choice, it would be a moral imperative. But even if Mars is barren of life, the ethical questions surrounding its colonization remain. The planet's landscapes, shaped over billions of years, tell a story that is uniquely Martian. From the massive canyons of Valles Marineris to the towering Olympus Mons, Mars is a geological wonder that deserves our respect and careful study. As we explore its surface, we must be mindful of the impact we have. Will we leave Mars's natural beauty intact for future generations to explore and appreciate, or will we alter it beyond recognition in the pursuit of human settlement? The ethical challenges of space exploration are not limited to Mars. As we look toward the outer solar system, we encounter moons like Europa, Enceladus, and Titan, worlds that hold the potential for harboring life. Europa, with its vast subsurface ocean, is one of the most promising candidates for extraterrestrial life. If we were to find evidence of living organisms beneath Europa's icy crust, it would be one of the most significant discoveries in human history. But it would also raise profound ethical questions. How should we interact with life forms that may be vastly different from those we know on Earth? Do we have the right to study them, to alter their environment, or to extract resources from their home? Or should we take a more protective approach, ensuring that we do not disturb their ecosystems, even if it limits our ability to explore and utilize their resources? These questions force us to confront the nature of life itself. What rights do other forms of life, whether microbial or intelligent, have? And what responsibilities do we, as explorers, have to protect and preserve those life forms? As we search for life beyond Earth, we must be prepared to approach it with humility, recognizing that we may not fully understand its significance or its place in the broader cosmic order. The ethical considerations of space exploration extend to the issue of space resources as well. The idea of mining asteroids, moons, and planets for valuable minerals and metals has the potential to revolutionize industries on Earth and provide the materials needed for large-scale space colonization. However, the extraction of resources from space also raises important questions about sustainability, equity, and environmental impact. Should space be treated as a resource to be exploited for profit, or should it be approached with caution and restraint? Moreover, who will have access to these resources, and who will benefit from their extraction? Will space mining lead to greater inequality, with wealth concentrated in the hands of a few corporations or nations, or will it be used to benefit all of humanity? These questions highlight the broader challenge of how we will govern space exploration. The Outer Space Treaty, signed in 1967, established the principle that space is the province of all mankind, and that no nation can claim sovereignty over celestial bodies. But as private companies and new nations enter the space race, we must ensure that the benefits of space exploration are shared equitably and that the environment of space is preserved for future generations. The governance of space is still in its infancy, and as we expand our presence in the cosmos, we must develop new frameworks that promote sustainability, cooperation, and the responsible use of resources. But beyond the ethical and practical challenges of space exploration, there is a deeper, more philosophical question that underpins our journey into the cosmos: what are we searching for? Is it merely survival, a way to ensure that humanity continues in the face of potential global catastrophes? Or is it something more, a deeper understanding of the universe and our place within it? The search for extraterrestrial life, particularly intelligent life, is one of the most profound endeavors of our time. The possibility that we are not alone in the universe, that other civilizations exist somewhere in the vast expanse of space, has captivated the human imagination for centuries. If we were to find evidence of such civilizations, it would force us to rethink our understanding of life, consciousness, and intelligence. It would remind us that the story of the universe is far grander and more complex than we could have ever imagined. But what if we are alone? What if, in all the vastness of space, we are the only conscious beings? This possibility, too, is deeply significant. If we are the universe's only observers, then we carry a unique responsibility. We are the stewards of life, the keepers of consciousness. Our actions, both on Earth and in space, will determine whether life continues to flourish or fades into the cosmic void. The choices we make, about how we treat our planet, how we explore the stars, and how we interact with other forms of life, will shape the future of the universe itself. As we continue to explore the stars, we must carry this sense of responsibility with us. The stars will always be there, waiting for us. But as we reach for them, let us do so with open hearts, open minds, and a deep respect for the universe and its mysteries. For somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known, and we, with our boundless curiosity and capacity for wonder, are the ones who will discover it. Mars, with its ancient river valleys, massive volcanoes, and frozen deserts, represents both a beacon of hope and a challenge for humanity's future. The red planet is within our reach, yet as we move closer to establishing a human presence on Mars, we are confronted by a question that has accompanied all of human exploration: how will we balance our desire to explore with our responsibility to protect? Mars is a world that has existed for billions of years, untouched by human hands. Its landscapes, shaped by ancient volcanic eruptions and the flow of water billions of years ago, hold the clues to its past. And perhaps, beneath its surface or within its frozen soils, Mars may still harbor life, life that evolved independently of Earth. Even the discovery of simple microbial life would be a revelation of staggering proportions, challenging our understanding of biology and forcing us to confront the possibility that life may be a common feature of the universe. If we find life on Mars, our ethical responsibilities become even more profound. How should we interact with that life? Do we have the right to study it, to experiment on it, or to alter its environment for our own purposes? Or should we take a more cautious approach, ensuring that we do not disturb its ecosystems, no matter how small or primitive they may be? These questions are not simply matters of scientific inquiry, they are questions of ethics, morality, and humanity's role as stewards of life, both on Earth and beyond. But even if Mars proves to be devoid of life, the ethical considerations surrounding its colonization remain. The transformation of Mars into a habitable world, through terraforming or other means, would be one of the most ambitious and transformative projects humanity has ever undertaken. Yet, it also represents a profound act of intervention in the natural processes of another planet. Terraforming would involve altering Mars's atmosphere, warming its surface, and possibly introducing Earth-based life forms. While this might one day allow humans to live on Mars without the need for protective habitats, it raises difficult questions. Do we have the right to reshape an entire planet to suit our needs? And what would we lose in the process? Mars, as it exists today, is a geological wonder, its landscapes shaped by forces that have unfolded over billions of years. By transforming Mars into a more Earth-like world, we risk erasing its natural history and losing the opportunity to study an alien world in its unaltered state. We must ask ourselves whether the benefits of terraforming outweigh the potential costs, not just for humanity, but for Mars itself. The decision to reshape a planet is not one to be taken lightly, and it will require careful consideration of the long-term consequences for both Mars and the wider solar system. Beyond Mars, the ethical dilemmas of space exploration extend to the outer solar system, where moons like Europa, Enceladus, and Titan offer the tantalizing possibility of harboring life. Europa, with its vast ocean beneath a thick layer of ice, is one of the most promising candidates for extraterrestrial life. If we were to discover life on Europa, it would force us to reconsider many of our assumptions about the uniqueness of life on Earth. But how would we interact with that life? Would we approach it as scientists, eager to study and understand it? Or would we take a more protective stance, recognizing that Europa's ecosystems, no matter how alien, deserve to be preserved? The discovery of extraterrestrial life, whether microbial or intelligent, would raise profound ethical questions. What rights do other forms of life have, and what responsibilities do we, as explorers, have to protect and preserve those life forms?